Hola, hello. I was picturing way too high. Was that what it is? Sorry, I just realized something. I was like, what is going on here? It's like every single day. Now I'm just starting to figure out what it is. I think it's because, that's why. Eh. Telling you guys, I am not technologically advanced enough to figure this stuff out. Oh, excuse me. Oh, what's going on, everyone? How's everybody doing today? I will say, I went and got a really good workout today, and I'm feeling pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. Oh, it's an OBS dock, really. It's not really OBS itself. My dock is kicking out my bit rate. Oh shoot, I left my freaking guys, I'll be right back. I gotta grab my iPad. Sorry about that. Left my iPad downstairs. Anyways, what I was saying is my plugin is matching my OBS bitrate output, and YouTube and Twitch don't like the same bitrate. Blah 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 blah. A bunch of numbers and thingies I gotta worry about. Whatever. Bunch of numbers and thingies to worry about. Yeah, they don't, Logan. They really don't. And it makes it a giant pain in my ass. It makes it a giant pain in my ass. There we go. Whole bunch of giant pain in my ass. But how are y'all doing today? It's Thursday. Thanks, Triple X. I appreciate that. It's very sweet of you. That's very sweet of you. I think more just different stylistically. Can we say that? They're different stylistically. Oh man. I gotta go in for a back procedure tomorrow again. I gotta get another RFA done tomorrow. I'm not looking forward to that. Yeah, I gotta go get them, stick a bunch of needles in my back, and while I what's an RFA? RFA is a radio frequency ablation. But in a nutshell, they burn my nerves off in my back. This is like my third one or my fourth one. It's not like it's not like I don't know what I'm getting. Oh, yeah, it helps. It helps. If it didn't help, trust me, I wouldn't be getting them. I'll tell you that much. Because they are a pain in the butt to get done. So, they're fine. Yeah, they work for some people. They don't work for other people. It really depends. Like a lot of people do like get like epidurals and stuff like that, and those don't work on me at all. Those do nothing. So, yeah, it just depends on. I think just depends on the person. I actually just had to have another MRI like 2 weeks ago. Pretty much just to show that my back has not improved in the slightest. I'll be all right, y'all. You guys won't even notice that I got it. I'll be right back. I'll be right back here. Hell, I might stream tomorrow. We'll see. I know Fridays are my day off, but we'll see how tomorrow goes. We'll see how I'm feeling. Yeah, flying probably not the best thing right now. However, I'm flying in a couple weeks also. Owie. Yeah, I'm flying in a couple weeks also. So I yeah, we'll see how that works. I don't know. I'm thinking about doing a little I haven't decided yet, but I am gonna be in Cali for a few days. I'm thinking about doing a little like meet and greet while I'm there. I'm not sure. I'm thinking about it. It's an idea. No, I'm not sure any flight's not gonna get canceled at this point. Berent said, I hope it's Riverside. And guess what? It is Riverside. Congratulations, your wish came true. But yeah, I'm from you guys know I'm from Riverside. You guys know, well, I'm from close to Riverside. I'm from close to Riverside. Guys, if you guys are trying to call in, I haven't opened up the phone lines yet. Just give me like a minute or two and I'll open them up. Yeah, I'm from really close to Riverside. Yeah. I'm actually from Paris. And the only people who know where that's at are probably people who live in Riverside. Actually, probably some of y'all in Paris don't. Some of y'all in Riverside probably don't know where Paris is at. Yeah. So, I'm just saying some of y'all don't, but I am considering doing a meet and greet. Oh, I know Lake Elsinore, Storm in the house. I am considering doing a little meet and greet. It would be the day after Black Friday. I don't know where, and I haven't confirmed it. So, maybe just something small. I don't know. I know I have some. I know I have some fans and peoples. You know, out in the SoCal area. So, yeah, maybe I'll do an announcement and try to do something. Try to do something and meet up with some people while I'm there. I would love to do that. So, someone said, so that's why I like the Chargers. You think I would choose this under any other circumstance? You think I would choose to be a Chargers fan if it wasn't for the fact that I grew up there? All right. Natty, thank you so much for the super chat. Actually, Natty sent me the same super chat twice, it looks like. But that's okay. We're going to throw it up there. Said, according to New York Times via Newswire, Trump privately described Zohran Mamdani as a talented politician and slick good talker. The orange is scared. Yeah, because if you don't believe that, then you don't have eyes or ears. Okay? Because he is a very talented politician and dude. When he debated Cuomo, thank you so much for that. That's not surprising at all. When he debated Cuomo and said, and what was the line? He said something to the effect of like, what you lack in integrity, you try to make up for in experience. Or what did he say? He said it was something like that. It was wild. Oh, he said what I lack in experience, I make up for in integrity, but what you lack in integrity, you can never make up for with experience. And I was like, damn. Like I was like, ouch. Ooh, that one hurt. I don't even like Cuomo, and that one hurt me, man. What you lack in integrity, you can never make up for in experience. If y'all haven't seen that debate, he smacked Cuomo in that debate. It was bad, dude. It was bad. It was bad. Oh my goodness. Like I was like, the first thing I was like, me and Mamdani don't agree on every single position. We don't. right? Like I agree with a lot of things he's doing. We don't agree on every position, but I tell you this much: I don't want to be on the other side of a debate stage of him. Period. That's a bad man on a debate stage. That's a bad man on a debate stage. Bad man. Patrick, thank you so much for the $5 over on PayPal. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. W's in the chat for Patrick for that $5. All right, we're about to open up these phone lines, get this thing going. I know I had a few callers already that I just wasn't quite ready for. So, I'm not. Look, I would like it. It'd be fun, like to be on the other side of like on a debate stage with Mom Donnie. But I'd be scared. Like, I'm not scared of most people at a debate stage. He would scare the shit out of me. That dude's quick. I thought I was quick. That boy, quick. That boy is quick. One second, y'all. Sorry, I'm dealing with some stuff. Looking at something. All right, real quick. Let's before I go to the phone call, I just got this super chat. Luis, first of all, hope Puerto Rico is doing well. Okay. Luis had a question. Paul, a quick question. The budget reconciliation bill is the same as the nuclear option. No. So they are different. So, but I can totally understand. First of all, can we get big W's in the chat for Luis for the $20 super chat? I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, Luis. They are different, right? So a budget reconciliation bill is a quick expedited bill that does not require 60 votes, right? For specific targeted budgeting items. Okay. The nuclear option is using a one-time vote to bypass what normally needs a 60 vote thing, right? So for using the nuclear option, what they're actually doing is they're passing the CR that requires 60 votes without 60 votes, right? Which is different from a budget reconciliation bill, right? Which already is not 60 votes. It's already just a simple majority, right? But can't be used to fund everything, right? Like it can be used for certain circumstances, right? Like they could easily do like a budget reconciliation bill right now to like just open up like I think what it is, it goes based off of discretionary and non-discretionary funding on what they're allowed to use a budget reconciliation bill based off of the Senate rules, if I remember correctly, right? So like discretionary spending, like Medicaid, Medicare, I believe actually SNAP falls into discretionary funding, that you could use a budget reconciliation bill on. But for a CR, you need, for a clean CR or non-clean CR, doesn't matter. For continuing resolution, you need 60, and that was what would require the nuclear option. Both of them could pretty much reopen up the government. And both of them could happen without Democrats' help. Just thought I'd throw that out there. So, did I answer the question? I think I nailed it all right. Was that enough info? Good. Luis said it was a good one. Big thanks to chat, Luis, for the answer. I was not ready to answer that question this afternoon. So thank you so much for actually throwing that out there. And getting some education in. Hopefully I nailed that, because it's been a while since I had to think about that. All right, we're about to open up these phone lines. By the way, Trump does have to pay out SNAP benefits now because the judge just said he has to. I'm sure he'll challenge it in the Supreme Court, because why would Donald Trump want people fed? Right? Why would Donald Trump want people fed? Yeah, especially children. Like, why would you want people like children fed? Ew, gross. They're all sticky anyway. Why are they always sticky? Why are they always sticky? By the way, let's also be very clear. Donald Trump does not have to cut like the major airport stuff or whatever. He's doing that specifically to try to pressure Democrats. Can you imagine, like, truthfully? And it's funny how these people ready to phone call in, and now that my phone lines are open, nobody's calling in. Phone lines are open if you'd like to call in now. But can you imagine just being like, hey, I want to make sure everybody has health care, and you're like, nope, rather starve people and ruin their holidays. Me. Peasants don't eat. If I wanted to hear my slaves speak, I would stick my hand up their arse and move their mouths. How dare you speak in my presence, begging for, what was that again? Food. Let them eat cake. Donald Trump's over here wanting us to have sleep for dinner. Well, waiting for our first call. Someone asked, how did the arguments in SCOTUS go on the tariff case? That's a great question. Another great question. They actually seemed pretty poised not to let Donald Trump continue with his tariff policy. It didn't go very well for Trump. It didn't go very well for Trump at all. Yeah. They have not ruled on the case. No, they just heard arguments yesterday, I believe, actually, was the arguments. And but actually, Trump's side actually asked for like an expedited review. So we could project to probably see an answer by the end of the year, which is, or around the beginning of the year, which is incredibly fast for the Supreme Court, right? That's like light speed for the Supreme Court, right? Because normally we wouldn't hear a response back to this until like summer of next year. But even the conservative justices were kind of like, they were given a lot of pushback. Like, they're giving a lot of pushback to the Trump side. The best argument that I heard, and, you know, the best argument that I heard, I think it was Justice Gorsuch. Who was pretty much like, if Congress can hand over this power, right? If Congress hand over this power to the president, then what's the stopping Congress from handing over the power to like declare war to the president? Like, if the Congress can hand over this power, what's stopping them from pretty much handing over all power, right? And the argument from the Trump's lawyers were pretty much like, well, you know, they could always take it back. You know, they could always take it back with like, he's like, yeah, but to take it back, they would need like a veto proof, like 2/3 vote. And once presidents like this have power, they don't give it back. Which I actually thought was like a great answer from Justice Gorsuch, honestly. So they did not look poised to allow it. Hello, how are you?
Hey, how's it going? I just wanted to say, make America great again, baby. Let's go.
Is that all your brain could handle, or?
Hell yeah, dude.
Hell
Let's
yeah, that's
go.
all it
Make
could
America
handle?
great again.
Are you bragging about that?
Yes, sir. Make America great again. He's your president. Just admit it.
So you're bragging about not being smart enough to have a conversation?
Just admit it. He's your president. Just say it.
Okay, he's the president.
Okay, could you say I'm your daddy?
Is that a weird sex kink or?
No. Can you say
Oh
he's
no,
your
then I'm not
daddy?
going to say it. If it was a weird sex kink, I would have said it.
Oh, say it.
All right. Yeah, if it was a weird sex kink thing, I would have said it. But just for fun, no, not at all. Hello, how are you? All right. Only if it's a weird sex thing. Anyways, what I was trying to say before I was interrupted by that Neanderthal. They pretty much were saying that, like, yes, once presidents get power like that, they don't give the power back. And if the Congress can just give whatever powers to the president, then the Congress could literally give the president the ability to declare war or do any other number of things, and then not be able to get that back from Congress, which was not what the founding fathers or the law ever intended, right? Like they intended for a separation of church and state. Not for one branch to just cede all of their power to somebody else. Yeah. Hello, how are you?
Hey there, man. Doing well. How about yourself?
I'm great. How old are you?
I am 32.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
Yeah, yes.
Awesome. Y'all, please make sure you hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. So why would you do a thing like that?
Well, why not?
Because he's not doing good.
How so?
We could pretty much name everything, right? Like, I mean, what is he? I can't. It's hard for me to name things he is doing good. Should we start there? It's a much shorter list.
All right. Let's pick one subject and let's cover it together. How about that?
Sure. Let's do that. Sounds great.
All righty.
Yeah.
So what subject do you want to cover?
Sure. How about, do you want to go foreign or domestic?
Either or. It doesn't matter.
Okay. Right now, Donald Trump has a government that is shut down. People are being ripped off their food benefits. They are losing their health care. Farmers are getting put out of business at an astonishing rate, right? And Donald Trump is instead sending $40 billion to Argentina. Why do you think that that's a good thing?
40 billion? I thought it was 20.
It was 20 and then another 20.
Sending actual money or is it a currency exchange?
It's money.
Oh, so
and even if it was a currency, even if it was a currency exchange,
the swap line they announced was a lie, is what you're saying, and they just
most of what they announced is a lie. But what's a currency exchange, sir?
Okay, currency exchange in regards to a swap line, they're basically trading money. The inflation rate is locked in for the money they get from us. That way, if it does go like if it falls apart, the investment, we still get paid the money that we invested. So it's really to help stabilize that particular country or any other country, mind you.
Okay, so why do I care about...
If I remember correct,
that's not exactly correct, but why do I care about stabilizing Argentina's economy when right now our economy is failing?
How is... Okay. We're supposed to be sticking to one subject.
We are.
If you want... the subject is failing economy.
Sir, we are sticking to one economy. Sir, we are sticking to one topic.
You're using the supposed failed economy to try to cover for the fact that this policy is being used to help stabilize Argentina.
Yeah, sir. Maybe you didn't quite understand the question. Okay. If our government, sir, I'll rephrase the question so maybe you can understand a little better. Okay, maybe you can understand a little bit better. If our government is shut down and our economy is failing, why the fuck do I give a shit about stabilizing Argentina's economy?
Again, this point is under the assumption that the economy is failing, right? So again, that's why I'm saying let's just stick to one subject.
This is the subject, sir. This is the subject. The one subject is what we're talking about.
All right. So let's talk about the economy then.
The subject is, sir, the subject is, okay, how about this? I'll give, initial point. Sir, how about this? I'll give you my point of view and then you can try to go from there. Sound good?
Okay. All right.
All right. Perfect. Fine. I don't want the president of the United States, okay, or our government sending money, whether in our currency exchange or not, to help stabilize Argentina when currently 10 to 17 million people are being ripped off their healthcare. 4 million people are having their food assistance taken away from them. We've had the worst job creation numbers in 4 years and the first negative job numbers in 4 years. We have the highest unemployment rate in 4 years. Soybean farmers are being completely put out of business, being subsidized by the U.S. government. And the beef deal they just did with Argentina will then help to actually put more farmers out of business in Nebraska. I thought that Donald Trump was supposed to be America first, right? And while literally he could be using that money to feed Americans, he is instead using it to stabilize Argentina. Okay, so why do I give a fuck about Argentina? Okay, when Americans right now in this country are suffering.
Okay, all right. So let's look at the shutdown, like you pointed at. Then since supposedly, that could have been covered, right? That should be covered versus sending money to Argentina. So tell me, what in particular the votes that were voted on before? What was it? What were those votes on?
I'm sorry.
Insane.
What?
What were the votes on that you guys claim happened 14 times, but supposedly Republicans voted no on?
I'm sorry. Are you getting? What are you talking? Are you speaking English, dude? What are you talking about?
So were the 14 votes that were held to try to supposedly pass this bill on the bill itself, or was it on cloture?
On what? On cloture?
Cloture.
Cloture?
Like closure, but with a T at the end instead of an S. Cloture.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you're talking about. How about you just get to the point?
So if the votes weren't on the bill and it was on cloture or the ending of a debate and to continue to a final vote regarding said bill, what would that mean in regards to the shutdown going on right now?
Sir, I have an idea for you, okay?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Instead of asking me questions, why don't you just say your point? Because you're confusing the hell out of me, and I don't know how to answer your questions because it doesn't sound like English. Okay? So how about you just make your point?
I thought
okay?
you were informed, my friend.
I thought I was too,
stuff.
but apparently I don't know anything because I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So how about instead of trying to ask me questions, you just make a point? Sound good?
All right.
Cool.
So if the votes were on cloture to, again, that means to end said debate, to move on to a final vote, to pass said bill, right? Why is it being portrayed as the votes being on the bill itself? Why is the media spinning it like that?
I don't know. I don't watch the media.
Okay. Okay. All right. So then let's consider also why the supposed nuclear option that's been presented by the Trump administration is to change the required votes for cloture, not to remove the filibuster itself.
Correct. For individual bills, things that they have already done multiple times this year.
Are you referring to budget reconciliation?
I am not.
Can budget reconciliation be used on a CR bill?
No.
Really? But, I mean, they use budget reconciliation for passing the, what was it, HR 1 or Big Beautiful Bill?
They did. What does that have to do with what we're talking about?
So how does that equate to a CR bill where you would push the narrative that they've done it before, so why not do it now, right? So if the budget reconciliation process cannot be used with a CR bill, then what process are you guys advocating for the Trump administration to use?
I'm not advocating for anything that the Trump administration is doing except for making sure people don't lose health care.
Health care. Okay.
Now, Donald Trump is advocating, for ending the filibuster on this singular bill, right? Just like they did for the nominations.
Not the filibuster not being removed or ended.
Sir,
again,
the nuclear
the vote
option...
is on cloture, a process to sidestep a filibuster by
I am aware, sir, but instead of saying that every single fucking time, it's a lot easier just to say ending the filibuster for this one specific bill. Okay. But if you want me to say, hey, it actually moves towards cloture to sidestep the filibuster every single time, because I've already said this multiple times, I don't know why you're trying to play a semantics game. Why
It's not a
is
semantic
Donald
game. If you guys
Trump,
are,
hey, why is Donald
continue,
Trump
continue.
sending money to Argentina to stabilize them instead of trying to reopen our government? That is the question.
So the votes on cloture aren't an attempt to get the bill passed through a final vote so it actually can be enacted?
I don't know how that question even close to responds to what I just asked you.
Well, you're setting it up in a way to frame it as why is the money going there and not here? But again, if you take the nuance on what's going on here, why would that be a problem if they're sending money over there and we could have had this issue solved already?
We could have had this issue
what are you
solved already,
trying to
but it's
get
not
at there?
solved right now. And Donald Trump's concentration is not on getting it solved. He was actually specifically asked if he was going to help negotiate or compromise a deal in order to reopen the government, and he said no. Right? So Donald Trump's concentration is on things like Argentina. His concentration is on things like the Middle East. His concentration is literally everywhere, maybe on throwing Great Gatsby parties. Okay? It's literally everywhere, but trying to reopen our government when American people are starting to suffer.
All right. So let me ask you. Let me bring it up. Let me bring it up in a certain way where maybe you'll have an answer. So, what is the Argentinian fund given, and also the Israel policies that are being pushed that happened before the shutdown, mind you? There were talks of it, right? So, what does that have to do with the shutdown that happened after those topics were discussed?
Easy.
What does that have to do with
There
that?
was not a singular thing done about Argentina prior to the shutdown, first of all. And second of all, sir, I don't care if there was, because now the government is shut down and people are losing their ability to eat. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. Maybe I can ask you a question that maybe you can understand. Okay. Why do you support advocating for social programs for Argentina and having American tax dollars pay for social programs in Argentina while simultaneously advocating for them to be shut down in the United States?
Social programs. So you're telling me
No, that was
the
a
Trump
question,
admin
sir.
right now is yeah. That's what I'm just trying to clarify your question.
It was
you're
a very
telling
clear
me that
question.
the Trump admin is advocating for foreign benefits versus benefits at home. That's what you're saying.
I'm saying Donald Trump is making sure that everyone in Argentina and Israel has their universal health care while simultaneously taking away Medicaid from millions of Americans.
Medicaid?
Medicaid. Have you heard of it?
Away. It's being taken away. Like it's getting dissolved completely. Nobody's going to be able to use the market at all.
Did I say that?
You said Medicaid's getting taken away.
I said people are losing their Medicaid. They're having their Medicaid taken away. Does that say, see, this is your problem. You think you just want to have like some weird, dumb, like kind of like purposefully, ignorantly, like stupid conversation about semantics. Okay. Either that or you're truly not intelligent enough to understand what I'm saying. Okay, I really don't know. Sir, I'm talking.
When I initially brought up cloture, you didn't know what it was?
Sir.
And then after the fact that
I never said I didn't know cloture was.
You knew how to use it all of a sudden?
I never said I didn't know what cloture was. I said the English sentence that you're saying.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Are you going to be quiet now?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay,
Go ahead.
Cool.
Continue.
What I said was your sentence was not English. Because it wasn't. Because the things you were saying, okay, put together in a sentence was not the English language. It had nothing to do with a singular word, okay? But what you're trying to do is... okay, sir, if you make one little like, while I'm talking again, I'm hanging up the phone, okay?
Go ahead. You're obviously not winning this.
Okay, cool. So what I was trying to say, sir, was now you're trying to... you tried to straw man that argument about the word cloture. Okay. And now you're trying to straw man this argument by making it sound like you don't understand how people having their Medicaid taken away doesn't mean, oh, the entire Medicaid system is being taken away. So you're trying to straw man the argument as if you don't understand like simple English. Okay. And that's totally fine. Okay. But if that's
So
sir, I'm talking. So if that's what you want to do, if that's what you want to do, then I'm very happy that you like to do that and have to have really bad faith arguments. Okay. But I would
mhm.
ask that you go do it with somebody else because I'm not the one and I'm not going to sit here and do this with you. Okay.
So me pointing out your bad faith interpretation of what is going.
All right. I'll just hang up. That's fine. Apparently, you just want to go right back to it. He speaks the King's English. He was just gaslighting and trying to straw man arguments, and I have better things to do with my time than listen to it. Just to be completely honest with you. Yo, make sure you hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I appreciate you. Hello, how are you?
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
How's it going?
How's it going? How old are you?
I was watching I guess your podcast and trying to see if this is actually live still.
It is. How old are you?
I'm 40. I'm 43. Bro.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
So, yeah, to be honest with you, I'm not really a political individual, but I do agree with some of the things that he's saying or doing, so to speak. I'm not one for all of the, extra stuff. I've been watching for a couple minutes, and the last guy was just ignorant, you know what I mean? So, but, I see a lot of different viewpoints from a lot of different people. There are a lot of things that are going on that are wrong, with the way things are being carried out. I do understand how traumatizing some of this stuff can be. I say one of the main reasons why I still kind of support this is to be real with you. We've been getting the same type of presidents for how long? Years. We're getting the same type of presidents for years. They always saying they're going to do this, nothing changes. People have been complaining about the same things for years and years and years. I was born in the 80s, so I've been hearing all of this stuff. I've been through a couple of presidents. I've been through a couple of deportation acts, and Obama deporting 3 million people. Nobody's up in an uproar. All of this stuff is, and to me, it's a lot of stuff that's just being pushed, and it's mainly just trying to keep people from seeing the real things that's going on.
Well, sir, sir, and that's totally fine. I'm also was born in the 80s. Okay. And I've seen many presidents also, and I remember all that stuff with Obama. Okay. But you're saying like, hey, like all these presidents are the same, like, all that sort of stuff, blah, blah. Donald Trump is, the only like real difference, right? Like, is that Donald Trump pitches like an authoritarian fascist like type of ideology and does things that are inhumane at a level higher, but he still doesn't deliver on the things that he's doing. You're saying that you're tired of presidents that don't deliver, but yet Donald Trump doesn't deliver.
Who's to say that? He's only been in there, what, a couple of months?
Try 4 years and 9 months, 10 months now.
And what happened during that first administration? He did do a few things, did a lot more than a lot of other presidents.
What did he do?
But at the same time, it's I'm going to tell you one of the main reasons.
Hold up, what did he do?
So are you familiar with an interview? Matter of fact, 2 interviews that he did back in the 80s and back in the 90s. He did one with
probably, sir.
He did one.
But I was asking you a question. What did he do?
I'll get to that question in a moment.
We have to go back to the 80s for you to tell me what he did in his first term?
Listen. I'm not talking about what he did in his first term. I'm talking about what he was speaking on. What he was speaking on, and his message never changed. Even back in the 80s, in 88, 89, also in the 90s, they asked him the same questions. Are you interested in politics? Do you want to be president? He said the exact same thing multiple times. Even when he was running for president the first term, he said the same thing. I'm not interested in politics. I like what I do. He was into business. I'm not into that.
When was the first time Donald Trump ran for president, by the way?
But if I see this country going in the wrong direction, and I see all the money keep going up out of this country, and people in this country is suffering, then maybe I would.
Sir, when was the first time Donald Trump ran for president?
This ain't the first time. It's not even the second time. He's probably run before.
When was the first time?
You tell me.
You tell me.
You tell me.
Sir, if you want me to tell you, you have to say, I don't know.
I don't know.
All right, perfect. So he first ran in the year 2000 under the Reform Party. Okay.
Mhm.
He also
And what
in
was going on in
speeches.
2000?
Hold on, sir. He also in the 90s said was a Democrat or claimed to be a Democrat, right? And actually said, right, if he ever ran for politics, that he would run as a Republican because they're gullible and I could tell him anything. Okay. So that he literally said that, like, again, in one of these speeches that you're talking about in the 90s. Donald Trump also was very notoriously pro-choice back in the 80s and 90s. His stance completely changed off of that,
And
right?
people can't
And
change.
Donald Trump's stances even changed now.
People
His
can't change their
stances,
stance. People
sir.
people can't change their stance.
Sir, I have no problem with people changing their stance. You're saying that Donald Trump's stances are all exactly the same as they were in the 80s or 90s. That was the comment
No,
that you just made.
I'm not saying those. I'm still saying the one message that he still said: if I see this country going in the wrong direction, and all of the money in this country is going up out of this country, and that people in this country are suffering, then I would try.
You know
And
who
I'm
else
gonna
said
tell you
that?
something. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you
Hold on.
something.
You know who
Donald
else said
Trump
that?
said that. Donald
Who
Trump
else said that?
Hey, that's the only one that I've heard.
Stephen A. Smith just said that. Does that mean
Stephen
Stephen
A. Smith ain't running for president.
Sir, but
Stephen A. Smith
sir,
ain't running for-
just because
Stephen A. Smith ain't running for president, bro.
sir, just because you say, "Oh, if I ever see it where they need me, I'm going to run and be president," doesn't make you a good president. It doesn't make you qualified. Okay,
No,
just
it
like
doesn't.
Stephen A. Smith is very not qualified to be president.
But
Donald
it
Trump
also-
is.
but it also- but
Donald
it- but
Trump
here's
is
the question,
also, sir. Donald Trump is also very not qualified to be president. Just because you want to
Of
say
a
something,
country or a corporation?
sir.
Of a country or a corporation.
Probably neither, to be completely honest with you, because he's bankrupted
Well, he's
7
been
different
running his own
organizations,
business for a while.
including he's bankrupted like 7 different companies, including 2
And
casinos.
who hasn't? And,
Me.
And you think he's the only and you think he's the only businessman who's cheated the system? He got on TV and told us that he cheated the system with taxes and all that. He
And
told
now
us
he's
to our
cheating
face.
this, and now he's cheating the system with American tax
Again,
dollars
he's
to put.
doing exactly
Sir,
what I expect him to do. He's a
you
businessman.
expected him to steal American taxpayer dollars?
They've always been doing that.
No, sir. That's what you expected. You
They've
voted for
always
Donald.
been doing that.
You
Brother,
voted for
they've
Donald.
always been doing that.
Sir, you're saying that you voted for Donald Trump because he's different.
Bush didn't do that.
Sir,
Nixon didn't do that.
No, Bush did not fucking sue
Did they tell you that? Did they tell
Sir,
you? Did they tell you?
Sir, I'm in the
Did they
middle of a
tell you that
sentence
they
here.
weren't?
Sir, I'm in the middle of a sentence here.
Did they
If you wouldn't
tell you
mind. Sir, I'm in the middle of a sentence here. Thank you.
I've been that a few times, brother. You've
Yeah,
interrupted
sir,
me a
but
couple
your
times, bro.
sentences take like 45 minutes, and I do have a show to run. So at a certain point of listening to you, I
Well,
do
I mean,
have to
if people
stop
are
you.
interested, they're
Okay,
gonna watch.
but sir, but
You know what I mean?
but see, they come here to watch regardless of you being here. Okay.
Understandable.
Yeah,
I
okay.
understand that.
So it's my job to keep the conversation moving, and when you want to have in complete like monologues, okay, it's my job to cut you off so that we can continue to have a conversation. Unfortunately, I let you monologue for like 5 straight minutes and didn't cut you off, and finally had to move on with the conversations. But every single time I start a sentence, you feel the need to start talking.
But you've done the same.
I have not. No, I've let
I
you talk for
understand that. I
quite a
understand
long
you
time
moving it
before
along.
stopping you.
I
Okay,
understand that you're moving
and
it along,
you
but
have
I
not
was
let
trying to
me.
gather
You
some
have
thoughts,
not
but
let me get
understandable.
a singular sentence out.
But I've heard what you had to say.
Okay. Apparently not. Okay.
I have.
Donald Trump is currently suing the US government for $230 million of taxpayer money to put into his own pocket. Okay. And he is
Okay.
the one who gets to decide whether that pays out. Okay. So no, Obama didn't do that. Bush didn't do that. Clinton didn't do that. Shit.
How do you know that?
Because if they sued, it would be public record. Just like
No.
this
My
one is
question- my
public
question isn't
record.
about a
But
lawsuit.
sir,
I understand what you're
even
saying.
sir,
Let me
sir,
ask you this question.
no, stop asking questions until I'm done with my sentence. Okay? Thank you. What I was trying to say was, fuck, even Nixon didn't do that shit, and Nixon was corrupt as hell. Okay? So why do you think that the president of the United States should be able to sue the US taxpayer to put $230 million in his own pocket?
Okay. Now, he's not doing anything that other people have not done.
Incorrect.
There have been
No one
many-
has ever
there
done
have-
that.
Listen, there have been. You're telling me there haven't been any lawsuits, frivolous lawsuits against the government that have been won.
By the president while they're the president and they're the
I'm
ones
not
that get to
speaking
decide
about
the
it just being the
lawsuit?
president.
No.
Why is it just because he's the president?
Because-
he's something
Because,
different.
sir, he's suing the Justice
He's
Department.
still an American citizen.
Sir, Because he's the one who gets to decide whether the payout is paid out. If I sue the government, sir, if I sue the government or you sue the government, okay, and we want to settle, there's someone else in the government who has to decide whether there's a case or whether this is going to go to court or whether we're going to settle this out of court, right? Donald Trump is suing the government and he's the one who gets to decide whether he gets paid. He's the one. Okay, so the reason why it matters that he's the president is because he's the one who makes the decision on whether he gets paid.
Okay, I understand what you're saying.
Why are you okay with this?
Because and I'm not saying that I'm okay with it. What I'm saying is he doing anything different? You are focusing on the fact that it's through a lawsuit.
Yes.
I'm not speaking about it being a lawsuit, but I, for one, understand the fact that he's not the first president or the first politician or even the first judge to steal.
Give me an example then. Give me an example of another president stealing taxpayer money.
What do you mean?
Give me an example. Do you not know what it is? Sir, do you not know what an example? Sir,
just because
do you not know what an example is? Sir, just because do you not know what an example is?
Just because things are not public record don't mean they're not happening.
Gotcha. So if they're not public record, then how do you know they're happening?
But how do you know they're not happening?
Exactly. We don't know either of those things. I know Donald Trump is doing it, and you don't know whether or not it was happening at all.
I still know that politicians are making a lot more money than what they're getting paid yearly.
Yeah, of course they are, through a bunch of other things, including freaking lobbyists and insider trading.
Yes.
But neither of those are what we're talking about. We're talking about direct stealing.
It's stealing.
Correct. We're talking about stealing. First of all, yes, that is stealing.
We're still talking about stealing money from people, bro.
Yeah, we are. But we're not talking about.
It doesn't matter if it's insider trading.
It does
not matter. See,
it does matter.
To some people, it does.
It does matter.
Dirty money is dirty money.
Sir,
it doesn't make you any better because you.
Sir, I don't advocate for insider trading.
Bro.
I think that that's also bad. But see, I condemn it because it's bad. You're the one that's up here freaking supporting Donald Trump while the president directly, not through some insider trade, not through some backdoor deal, not something where they tried to sneak around where you don't have any evidence of it actually happening. You're just fucking guessing directly and in your face, stealing money out of your own pocket, bro. I already explained it to you.
That hasn't already been happening.
Already explained it to you.
At least he's coming back and telling where the waste is going.
Bro, I don't know. And I'm trying to say this like as respectfully as possible, but every way I word it in my head is very disrespectful. Okay. And so, and I'm trying real hard not to say it disrespectfully. Okay.
This is the thing. We're both grown men, bro. You can say things as disrespectful.
All right. I don't know what kind of bitch you have to fucking be. I don't know what kind of bitch you have to be to have someone steal money out of your pocket and say thank you afterwards. But that's what you're fucking doing, and that's fucking sad, bro. To literally have somebody walk up to you, take money out of your fucking pocket, put it in his, and you go, "Thank you, massa. Can I have some more?"
You can put it like that. You can put it like that, but that's not what's happening.
That's exactly what's happening.
That's not what's happening.
That's exactly what's happening.
Now, let me say something. You also have to be a brainwashed bitch to accept everything that the media is trying to tell you about something, bro. Stop it.
I don't, sir. These are public court records. This is not the media. These are public
have never been
court
doctored. Things
records.
have never been changed. They can change cameras,
gotcha.
Bro.
So now it's not a. So gotcha, sir. Gotcha. So now, so you went. Hold on, sir. Hold on, sir. So a second ago. So hold on. So a second ago, it was if you believe the media. Then I explained to you, sir. Listen. Try to use your big boy. Hey, try to use your big boy ears. Try to use your big boy ears. So you said, oh, you have to be a bitch list in the media. I tell you how it wasn't the media, and then you just change it to believing something else.
Bro.
It's not the media.
It is the media, bro.
Sir,
it is the media, bro.
Unlike you, I don't need other grown people to tell me what to know. Okay, I don't need that. Okay, I can look at primary sources. I even know how to read real good. I don't have to sound it out or anything.
But your same talking points are the same shit that they're saying in the media.
I wouldn't know. I don't watch the media.
Stop it, bro. Yeah, okay, stop it, bro.
I don't.
Stop it, bro.
All right,
stop it,
bro. If you want to be a whole fucking,
You don't watch anything. You don't. Watch
I don't even have TV in my house, bro.
Media outlet. stop it, bro.
I don't.
Your same talking points are the same thing that they've been pointing out for years and trying to say for
What
years.
talking point have I said, sir? What talking point is that?
You come across shit.
What talking point?
That's not true. Like,
What talking
Donald
point?
Trump's a racist. How he's had a black girlfriend. Now just because he's lobbied for certain things. Hell,
Does proximity equal
the
distance?
Central Park 5 happened, a lot of black folks lobbied behind locking them up too. What you mean?
Yeah, after they were exonerated?
Prior.
Donald Trump called for the death penalty on them after they were exonerated. No, Donald Trump called Donald Trump called for the death penalty on them after they were exonerated.
And people don't do the same shit every day, bro.
So this is your
What
theory.
about-
So
what
let me
about-
so let
hold
me
on.
get this straight. Let me
After-
get no.
so
You
after
hold on.
OJ
You hold
Simpson,
on.
so
You hold
after-
on. No, you're being muted because I'm getting tired of you talking over. You're now muted. Be quiet. Okay. So what you're saying is, no matter what bad thing I tell you about Donald Trump, you're just gonna say, "Well, somebody else did it, and someone also
No,
did that."
what I'm gonna say
As
is
if
this.
I
What I'm
give
gonna say
a
is
no,
this.
you're gonna
No,
say
what I'm
nothing
gonna
until
say
I'm
is this.
done talking, okay? Because I'm not gonna be cut off by by a little baby back bitch, okay? You're not gonna tell me anything, and you're muted, and no one can hear you, okay? So what I was saying was, sorry, sir, the president of the United States, okay, I hold to a higher standard than some random person that watched the OJ trial, okay? I don't care about all of that other stuff that you're saying. I hold the president of the United States to a higher standard. Okay. And I'm sure as hell not gonna be so much of a little bitch as let someone steal from me straight out of my pocket and ask them for more. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, would you like to be unmuted now? Would you like to be unmuted now or no? All right, he won't stop talking even for me to say 4 words. He's still talking right now. He can't even figure out that no one can hear him. And I'm not listening and nobody can hear him, but he's still talking. Okay? You do realize I'm not listening to you and no one can hear you, right? I can tell when you stop talking.
For years, bro. 60,
All right,
70
sir.
years they've been corrupt.
Well, then I hope you have a wonderful day. And since you absolutely have no will to actually have a conversation, I lied. I hope you have a horrible day. Get fucked.
I don't give a fuck.
Anyways, we're going to move on to the next caller. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Make sure you guys hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I really, really appreciate you guys. Tad, thank you so much for the super chat. Said this Fox News wannabe is talking about the media dead. What bro, dude could not be quiet for a second. Wonder, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Said that guy sounded like a first grader. I hope he doesn't procreate. That dude has 20 children by 15 baby mamas. That's the sad part. I really did try to have a conversation with him. It's a shame that people are so sad. Taurus, thank you so much for the 5 gifted. Can we get big W's in the chat for the 5 gifted? Also, I really appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Taurus. Oh man, you know, I kind of knew it today too. I kind of had a feeling. I was like, I'm gonna get some like crash out callers today. I kind of just felt it as I was coming upstairs. I kind of just felt it. Y'all, again, hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you guys would like to support the live, I do have super chats, all that fun stuff, memberships, all that fun stuff. As you see in the Taurus, sent out some gifteds over there, so I really, really appreciate that also. We're about to open up these phone lines. I also have my pay links in my bio, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. They're all at Polypolitics, just like my name. So if you'd like to support, that's a great way to help lives like this keep going. Oh, and just on cue, Beauty, thank you so much for the $3 over on PayPal. Said, I love it when you be like, sir, sir, sir. I'm going to take a shot every time you say sir. You take a shot every time I say sir, you're going to be fucked up by the time you get off this live. I'm telling you what.
Insane.
Hello, how are you? Hello. All right, goodbye. Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you?
What's going on?
Hi, how old are you?
33.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
Yeah. I mean, no, I don't actually.
Yeah, I mean, no, you don't. Which one is it?
So, as a black man, I did at first, but there's just no way possible, and so I was hoping to use the stream to be able to talk to other black people.
No, that's my job, bro. I'm that's what I get to do.
Okay. Well, I mean, I just want them to understand that the things that Martin Luther King did and the things that Malcolm X did, like, we think it's not our fight anymore, but it like really is, because he's reversing actual policies, actual amendments, and constitutional things that are going back against us as people.
Sir,
As our community.
sir, did you vote for Donald Trump?
Not this time, no.
Oh, but previously?
Yeah, I did the first time.
All right, yeah. Well, at least it wasn't this time, but Donald Trump said he was going to do all this shit. Just let everybody else out there know before I move on to the next caller, because I'm doing this.
Yeah.
In Project 2025, Donald Trump, they outline how they are going to literally get rid of civil rights and overturn laws to get rid of like equality and equity in this country. Okay. And they're using the guise of DEI to be able to do it. Okay. They're using the
first time,
guise
though,
of DEI to do it.
The first time, though, it didn't come off that way. The first time, it seemed like he was just, like he was just a regular Joe and all that. But this time, it's like, like, it's scary. It's bad. And if you're a black and still supporting him, I really don't understand. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And you got to go back to school and learn and understand civil rights and our history and what's going on and how he's doing it secretly.
Yes.
And in front of our face, too.
And everybody should do that regardless. But let's also remember Donald Trump took like 20% of black men in this election. Okay. Because people don't understand history. They don't understand the laws. They don't understand the struggle. They don't understand all the stuff that happens, that has happened in order for us to get to where we're getting, and how Donald Trump, and especially people like Stephen Miller, who is, again, like a known fascist and neo-Nazi, are trying to specifically undo those acts and have a detailed and understood plan of how they are doing it. And they are dismantling it right in front of all of our faces. Right. But I am glad, like, hey, you know what? The first time, whatever, if that's when you voted for him, then you didn't know what you're getting, but at least you came back around and you're using using your voice to be able to bring people back. And I think that that's really, really awesome. So I do really appreciate that. All right.
No kings, straight up.
No
None
kings. Hell yeah, brother. All right, man. Well, you have a good one. All right. I'm going to move on. Have a good one.
All right. Hey, you too.
All right. We're going to move on to the next caller. He was a nice guy. Hey, he made a mistake first time. He came back. We're all good. Pixie, that's what it was. It's the supermoon, right? It's the supermoon. That's why all the crash outs are here. Hey, but thank you so much for the 10 pounds over here. It said, listening from England, it's crazy how some people treat their political position and the leader of their party like a religion instead of a constant evaluation of their actions and performance. 100% true. 100%. They are public servants who are there to do the job of you. They are not supposed to be worshipped. You're not supposed to have their flags and their memorabilia and freaking their t-shirts and Donald Trump freaking, bikinis or whatever you're out there wearing, or man thongs. I don't know, whatever y'all are wearing out there that have Donald Trump on them. All right. I don't know what, but that's not what they're for. They're public servants. They're people to be here to support us. And Donald Trump is not doing that. And his regime is not doing that. Period. End dot. All right. Oh, goodness. Melinda, thank you so much for the $2. Said, I swear Trump is the Antichrist. Horrible job. Right. Blazer, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Big W's in the chat for Blazer for the $20. Said, I would love to have a convo with you, like an actual convo. Well, the phone number's there. The phone lines are open. Well, they will be as soon as I'm done with super chats. And I'm sure I'd love to have a conversation with you. So yeah, thank you so much for the $20 and the support. And I really appreciate you. And again, big W's in the chat for that. And Freddie, thank you so much for the $10. Said, seriously, thank you. This cult is worse than the first time. Much worse. Much, much worse. Not even in the ballpark. Thank you so much, Freddie. I really, really appreciate that. We're bringing religion into it. We're always bringing religion into it. Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. How old are you?
I'm 28 years old.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
Well, yes. Generally, yeah.
generally?
I mean, look, hasn't delivered completely. If that's what you're looking for, maybe I'm not your guy, but I still generally support him.
I mean, not delivered completely and completely not delivered are two different phrases, right? I think he's a lot closer to the latter.
I would agree as someone who voted for him. I would, yeah.
Okay, so why do you still support him then? If he's not delivering, why do you still support him?
Honestly, I just think that we need to have a conversation that's not so fiery, so negative towards one another, because I think the voters are different necessarily than the people in power. So do I still support him for the sake of your show? Yes. In reality, I don't like to subscribe to any one politician. So if you want to have that discussion, I'd love to have it. If that's not what you're looking for, then I understand.
It's fine, but I'm just trying to figure out what you support of his. I mean,
I don't support him. I was lying. I was just saying that because that seems to be the only way to get on these things.
So you're here on my side and you want to talk? Is that what you're saying?
I'd call myself center left.
Okay. Well,
But
I do appreciate you, but like you're right. Like it doesn't sound like we have much to talk about, bro. Like, I mean, we could sit here and bicker over tiny little things.
I think we could actually debate some
Sir,
things.
I can debate
like to play
anybody.
devil's advocate.
I love Zoran Mamdani, and I'm sure I could debate him on multiple different topics. That's not what this is about, man. I don't have a will to debate other leftists on here. People on the left or people even left center. Okay, that's not what I'm here to. Who I'm here to talk to. All right,
that's fine. I understand that. And before you let me go, then may I ask, why do you focus primarily on people who still support Trump? Because what if they said they don't anymore? Would you still not give them a
Then
platform?
You've already come on over here. Welcome in. I appreciate you.
So is it?
I just talked to a guy who doesn't support Trump anymore. That was the last caller.
Okay. I mean, that's a lot of my friends are that way. They switch over. You know, it's a hard time. I think people don't know what to do,
Sure,
and he was the symptom of a larger problem.
I very much congratulate anybody who has seen what Donald Trump is doing, and I think we're seeing that all across America, right? I think that the elections yesterday is showing that the public favor for Donald Trump and his ridiculous promises on the things he was going to do are not panning out, and tons of people are starting to move away from Donald Trump. Whether that means they come to the left or not, right? They're still moving away from Donald Trump because they're seeing what exactly I said and many other people said was going to happen well prior to the election, right? And now they're seeing that Donald Trump is just full of shit and not doing that, all right? But my job is to have a conversation with people and figure out why they still support Trump, all right? Because if you're still supporting Trump with all of the horrific things that he's doing right now, then I really want to, talk to you about that. Once we figured out how to deal with Trump and dealt with that, then we can have inside conversations on what is the best for the policies that we want on the left. But I don't believe that right now is that time. I think that inside bickering is just divisive.
I'm not here to talk policy, more so the mannerisms. I hosted Ben Shapiro back at UCLA after the shutdown, where we were sent home for a couple of weeks, and I was the one center-left individual that was part of that organization because I was trying to demonstrate that we're all not one way or the other, but that wasn't meaning that I was endorsing his views or Trump's. So you might actually have an interesting conversation with me, but again, if that's not your aim here, I understand.
Nope. Hope you have a good day, all right?
All right, have a great day.
Phone lines are back open. We're going to keep this thing going. I really appreciate that. Snowy, thank you so much for the 10 Canadian over here. Says, love what you're doing here. Keep up the good fight. And trans rights are human rights. Amen. W in the chat for Snowy. W's in the chat for Snowy all the way up in Canada. I guess Snowy, that's a kind of nail on the head, isn't it? Thank you so much. Shh. Thanks for the jewels. I'm sorry. That's my favorite name. Hello, how are you?
Hey man, what's up? How you doing?
I'm doing great. How old are you?
I'm 26.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
Yes sir, I do. And before I say anything else, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm going to be very respectful. You know, we're all Americans, so
No, we're not.
that's one. You know, that's one thing we got in common, right?
No. I mean, what do you mean by? I mean, if you mean like an American, like under the Constitution, we are citizens of this country, according to the 14th Amendment, then yes, we're Americans. But outside of that, I don't see how anything is really American about supporting Donald Trump.
Okay, define that. What makes you think that? What is the core reason why you hate? If that makes sense.
I don't like Donald Trump because he's a bad president. Okay, he's a horrific person also, but I think that doesn't really define how bad of a president he is. And I don't want to get into too much of a conversation about how bad of just a person he is when we can really concentrate on just how bad of a job he's doing, right? But even more specifically than that, there is a reason that when the president of the United States, right, gets elected in, they swear in and they give, the oath of the presidency, right, which swears allegiance to the Constitution of the United States, just like very similar to how like military members do the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They swear an oath to the Constitution of the United States. And Donald Trump is trying at every way, shape, and form to be in violation of the Constitution, right? He's doing things like getting, he's already been found in violation of the First Amendment, the 10th Amendment, the 14th Amendment. He's spoken about violating the 24th Amendment. He's made statements in violation of the Second and the Fourth Amendment, right? And I think the 12th, 12th. I don't know. There's actually a few in there that I'm actually missing that he's in violation of, right? Yeah. He's in violation of like international law. He's saying things that are very like anti-immigration, right? When this is a country that is built completely on immigrants, right? And I don't think any of those things are American, not to mention the fact that he seems to be very Middle East first and Argentina first while people in the United States suffer. And I don't find that's very, American either.
Yeah, that is one thing with the U.S. They like to meddle in other people's affairs in other countries. I do agree with that. It's just the reason I voted for Trump was just, the first time, it was just all the crap before him was just bad, man. Insurance was high, everything was high, and it was just the simple fact, like, I don't know how to word it. I'm sorry. Just give me a second.
What did you say was high? Just out of curiosity. Sorry, what did you say was high? I didn't quite hear you.
Like, just Obamacare was crap. I'm sorry. It was crap.
I don't see how it's crap, right? Obama got the economy, right after the 2008 recession and housing bubble pop that happened under the Bush administration. It actually all happened, I think, like 6 months prior to him coming into office. Right. And then over the last 6 years of the Obama presidency, I think inflation went down every single year. Right. Job creation went up every single year. Unemployment went down every single year. Right. Our economy was absolutely humming by the time Donald Trump got it.
Yeah. Am I good to speak now?
Yeah.
Okay. Just being respectful. So when Trump first got in and he got to work, doing things, and he did do what he was supposed to do, or said he was going to do. And honestly, I do forget most of that stuff. I remember what was gas back then when he first was president. It went down a lot in my area. Did it go down a lot for you?
But sir, it was already pretty low before Trump took office. It did continue to lower, but what did Donald Trump do to make that happen?
Well, he brought millions of jobs in our country, and that helped a lot of us. And he said,
hold on, sir. What did he do to help gas prices?
Isn't it that when we send our troops, like Afghanistan or something like that, it raises taxes and it raises gas inflation, all that. And what did he do? He pulled troops out of Afghanistan, right? Or Iraq, correct?
We didn't leave Afghanistan until the Biden administration.
What?
We didn't leave Afghanistan until the Biden administration.
Oh, well, you might be right. I might be wrong. I don't know. I just know that he does something. He says something and he does it.
Yeah, let's talk about the things that he says, right? Donald Trump ran in his first term and said he was going to build a wall and Mexico was going to pay for it. Did he do that?
Well, he built the wall. And
he bought 49 miles of new wall and Mexico didn't pay $1 towards it. off a 2,000-mile border.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It
So
was.
he said he was going to build a wall from one end of the border to the other, 2,000 miles or 1,900 and something miles, right? And that Mexico was going to pay for it. Not only did he only build 49 miles of new wall, Mexico didn't pay $1 for it, right? He said he was going to pass infrastructure while he was in office. Didn't get that passed at all. Actually, Biden ended up getting that passed. He said he was going to lower insulin costs. He didn't get that done. He said he was going to lock up Hillary Clinton. He didn't get that done, right? He said he was going to lower taxes, which I guess he did technically lower middle class taxes for about 1% to 2% while giving huge, large tax breaks to, corporations, right? But besides that, that was about all he did. And if you want to talk about job numbers, by the time Donald Trump left office, he was at a negative 2 million jobs, right? Over the course of his presidency.
Yeah. Where do you get your information at?
I get it from all over the place. Depends on the information.
Do you get it from like CNN or Fox News?
Neither of those two.
Oh yeah. Okay. So I was going to kind of back up. You mentioned insulin. So I'm actually a diabetic. I'm type 1, and I'm insulin dependent. And before Trump got in, my insulin was like pretty high, man, like $500, even with insurance. I'm not going to lie. Now, the insurance I have now, I don't pay nothing for my insulin, not a dime.
And why is that?
Because Trump did what he's going to do.
Wrong.
Well, the proof's right there. I've seen the proof.
No,
every time I go-
the proof is in Biden's policy that actually passed it.
Well, let me ask you something. Do you not agree with me that Biden is not right in the head?
Sir, I don't
Compared to
think Trump is right in the head.
Oh, man.
Trump isn't right in the head. What are you talking about? Donald Trump just took a dementia test, called it really, really hard, thought it was an IQ test. Okay. And then, sir, and then directly after that, they took him to go get an MRI, which I don't know if you ever had an MRI, but not really good if you take a dementia test and then you go straight for an MRI. Said he didn't know what the MRI was for. Okay.
Well, hey, you know how this is totally different, but maybe it's the same concept. Like, have you ever got your wisdom teeth taken out when they give you some gas or whatever and it makes you a little woozy? Maybe that's what it was. It's like the after effects of what that stuff does to you.
Of taking a dementia test?
I don't know. I mean, what are the things that they do?
Sir, have you ever had to get gassed up in order to take a test?
Well, no, but I'm just saying. I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm being nice as possible to you.
Sir, it's not a matter of being nice, sir. What I'm saying is you're saying Biden was out of his mind, and Biden was probably way too old to be president by the time he left office, okay? Donald Trump is wandering around, doesn't know where he's at, just like you guys accuse Biden of. Donald Trump is doing that right now.
He's not sniffing kids' heads, dumb.
He's not off sniffing kids' heads? No, he did most of his freaking touching of kids when he hung out with Epstein.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, you got your facts all wrong, bud.
Oh, then why isn't he releasing the files?
Well, he has grandchildren. You think, no.
Biden also has grandchildren. Those are the people you accuse of him sniffing their head.
Yeah, he probably sniffs their head and, oh, Lord.
Oh.
He's a sick man. He's a very sick man.
Yes, Donald Trump is a very sick man. You are very correct.
No, Biden's a sick man.
Biden's not president. Donald Trump is the current president. Biden is an old man dying of cancer. Donald Trump is the current president who cannot pass a dementia test. He said the test was really, really hard. They made him identify things like an elephant and a lion, and he had to pick out all the animals. I heard he even had to put the star block into the star hole, and he got it on like the 4th or 5th try.
Who'd you hear that from?
Donald Trump said this, sir. Not the block part. That was me joking. But all the rest of it, Donald Trump said that.
Okay. Let me think.
Sure. Did you not watch him walking around with the prime minister of Japan, where literally she like lets go of him and he just wanders off into nothing? Or maybe the fact, or when he was on the red carpet going to meet Putin and he was literally swerving all over? Or how about when he held up saying he had a trade deal with the EU? He wasn't with the leader of the EU, and also he dropped it, and a bunch of blank papers came out.
Okay. Hey, I actually have not watched that video. Can I look it up real quick?
You should look up all of these things, sir. All I'm saying is everything that you accuse Biden of, and I like whatever. You can say whatever you want about Biden. He was president. He's not president anymore. Who cares, right? I don't give a shit.
Sure.
The current president, okay, has lost his whole fucking mind. Okay? He's not with us. Okay, you guys accuse Biden of like using the auto pin and not know who you're pardoning. Donald Trump got on 60 Minutes a week ago and said, and they asked him about somebody that he pardoned, a guy who was helping fund terrorism, by the way. Right? And he said, I don't know who that person is. A person that Donald Trump pardoned. He doesn't know who he is.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of people. I mean, you can't keep up with everybody.
It's the only person he's pardoned in like a month. Oh, sorry. One of two. He's only pardoned 2 people. That's CZ Dude from Binance and George Santos.
Yeah. Hang on one second, bud. I'm trying to find the dementia thing. I don't see it. Well, here it is. Let's see. Trump thinks that dementia screening is an IQ to it.
Yet another physical where he got an MRI and he did some cognitive testing that I'm very familiar with because I took care of my father who had Lewy body dementia.
They have Jasmine Crockett, a low IQ person. They have AOC's low IQ. You give her an IQ test, have her pass like the exams that I decided to take, the cognitive test, and then AOC go against Trump. Let Jasmine go against Trump. I know they give Jasmine the first couple of questions are easy: a tiger, an elephant, a giraffe. You know, when you get up to about 5 or 6, and then when you get up to 10 and 20 and 25, they couldn't come close to answering any of those questions.
First off, his speech is like weirdly slurry lately. Have y'all noticed that? Especially when he's.
I did notice that, his speech is really slurry and he looks very, very exhausted. I'll give him that. I'll give you that. He's doing a lot, and you gotta consider his age too. So, cut him some slack on that, man. Just a little
Gotcha.
bit.
So was Joe Biden not doing a lot and also not the same age?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, but you hammered Joe Biden, right? Who's also doing a lot because, he's the fucking president, right? And was also super old. Okay. So what I'm saying, sir, is if you're going to have that same fervor for Joe Biden, and that's fine. You cannot like Joe Biden or think he was too old or think that, maybe towards the end he shouldn't have been the president. That's totally fine. But if you're going to have that exact same fervor for Joe Biden, then you better keep it with Donald Trump. All right. You don't get to cut Donald Trump slack, okay, after giving Biden shit for the exact same thing.
Well, no, it's kind of different. You gotta think. Biden didn't do the job correctly, and Trump is doing the job exceedingly well because he's probably overworking himself. So, yeah.
Yeah. So Joe Biden, who literally passed like almost a record number of bipartisan legislation, the largest infrastructure bill in American history, right? Like all these things. He couldn't do his job, but Donald Trump, who has the highest unemployment rate in the United States since the shutdown for COVID, who's bombing random fishing boats off of Venezuela, okay, and doesn't know what leader he's talking to or where he's talking to them, is doing great.
They're smuggling drugs in our country and killing our families, our U.S. citizens. So, yes, they do deserve to get blown up. You know why? Because they hate America and they want to kill.
And how do we know they're doing that?
You go in the street and you look.
Sir, I'm not saying drugs aren't in America. I think drugs are in America. Drugs are definitely getting into America. I'm not saying that, sir. And actually, if you want to talk about the number one drug that's killing people in America, it'd be fentanyl, which isn't even coming from Venezuela. Okay,
We
not
know
even
that.
going through Venezuela. So how do we
We
know
don't
that these random people on fishing boats 2,000 miles away from the closest American coast are bringing drugs in the United States?
because we have a military that's very high tech and knows what they're doing. They've been doing it for years, and they know what is good and they know what is bad. So we have the best military in the world, man.
We went to war for 10 years over weapons of mass destruction that didn't exist.
What?
We went to war with a whole country over weapons of mass destruction that didn't exist.
What country was that?
Iraq.
Okay. And your point?
It's that the military gets it wrong all the fucking time. Okay. And second of all, the guy who was literally being freaking instructed to do all of this stuff looked at it, realized that it was shitty and that we shouldn't be doing it, and quit.
Okay. And who was under the presidency during that time?
This was 2 weeks ago.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the past. Okay.
Sir, even if somehow, all right, if it was proven, okay, that they were smuggling drugs in the United States, which it's not, okay, let's be very clear, it's not proven. There's been zero evidence, okay? Even if it was proving in a court, okay, the penalty for drug trafficking is not to be killed, okay? That's not the penalty for it, okay? You would go to jail and you would have due process, okay? Because that's how live in a free and, free society, is we have laws and then you have to be convicted of those laws in a court, okay? And then you serve the punishment for that crime if you are convicted by a jury of your peers, which in that case would be jail time. But what we don't get to do is just arbitrarily try to decide that somebody 2,000 miles away that's not even in our country may or may not have committed a crime and then kill them because of it.
Well, here's the thing. You were saying about people getting convicted and going to jail because they committed the crime of selling legal drugs and all that. Well, you're talking about actual U.S. citizens, actual terrorists that don't live here. There's millions of illegals pouring in our country, and with those illegals, there's drugs.
So we're not talking about the people that are undocumented that are coming into our country. I am talking about people on fishing boats 2,000 miles away.
It's insane.
Not coming to our border. No proof that they're coming to our border. No proof that they have any drugs on their boats whatsoever.
Yeah.
No proof of any of that. And we are murdering them.
They're going to waypoints. They have one boat go here, and then they drop off their goods, and then another boat goes another waypoint, slowly going to the U.S. to try to avoid being detected. Is that not smart? Isn't what I'm saying kind of?
No, none of that deserves the punishment of murder, of non-due process murder.
Well, I don't believe in killing nobody.
Yes, you do. You're literally advocating for it right now. You are literally not only advocating for it, but it sounds like you're trying to promote it.
Well, I promote Trump, so yeah, maybe I do.
Gotcha.
Because
So if that's the case, then you think that somebody should just be able to accuse you of drug trafficking, walk into your house and kill you then, right?
Say what now?
Someone I said someone should be able to just accuse you of moving drugs, right? And then be able to just send the police in and kill you in your home.
Well, here's the thing with that. Where is the evidence? I have no evidence.
There's no evidence of them either. There's no evidence of them either. Donald Trump was asked where the evidence was, and he goes, "Look, see, there's some white stuff on the screen. That's the drugs." And that was just the heat signature off of infrared camera. They actually, here's another fun part. Here's another cool part. You know, they actually detained some of the people off the boats because like some people escaped.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know what they did with those people?
What did they do?
Yeah. They returned them to their countries without a single charge.
Well, that's awesome.
You know why? Do you know why they did that?
Why? Why are we listening?
Because there was no evidence of any crime that they had committed. So they sent them back to their country. This was a boat they had already shot down. There was zero evidence of any crime that they could hold them on. So they returned them to their country. That's crazy. Yeah.
Hey, you're funny.
Yeah. Sure, if we were going after drugs, fentanyl is the number one drug that's killing people in the United States. That is ingredients from China that are moved into Mexico, made in Mexico and moved across the border. If we're talking about things like cocaine, that's most likely coming from a country like Colombia. Okay. Not from Venezuela. All right. So even if we were going to freaking just murder people in other countries and in international waters that are nowhere near our country for drugs, we'd still be targeting the wrong people. Okay. But it is wrong. Okay. To just indiscriminately kill people that you think might have drugs far away. Okay.
Yeah.
Because they don't even fall under our laws. Okay. And we're not at war with Venezuela. All right. So you can't do that. Okay. Bad murdering president. Bad.
No. What about all the murders that happened in our own country of people that were killed, innocent people that were killed, like the lady that came from Ukraine and was killed by that black man? And when I say
Like
that,
who? Hold on. What did you say to me? Like who?
I said that there was, I don't know her name, there's a lady that came from Ukraine and was killed by a black man. Was it New York or Charlotte, something like that, North Carolina? I don't know. But he was illegal.
Yeah. You know that undocumented immigrants in this country commit violent crime at a rate 30 times less than American citizens?
Well,
Do you know what that means?
what's that mean?
It means if you live in the United States, you had a per capita rate, you are 30 times more likely to get killed by an American citizen than you are from somebody that's not here. Not from here.
Well, the simple fact that it was illegal, it doesn't even justify the point that it could be an actual American. It's the point that it actually happened and it needs to be addressed. Am
Yeah.
I correct?
So does the fact that murder happens in the United States at a rate 30 times higher. So does the
Right.
fact
Oh,
that
I-
that right now in this country, okay,
We live
the
in-
number, sir,
okay,
so
oh,
does the fact that the number one preventable cause of death of children in the United States is gun violence. Do you think we should address that?
Well, it's not the gun, it's the person.
Oh, gotcha. So when it's one immigrant, it's all immigrants. Okay. But if it's gun violence, it's not the gun, it's the person.
Yeah, because
Well, how about
you
this?
have somebody
Then it's not
right?
immigrants, it was the person.
Well, you're right on one thing, actually. Good job. Hello, are you there?
Sir, I'm right on all these things. I don't think I've missed yet.
Well,
Shit.
according to your
I'm just tossing. I don't think I've missed yet. I'm 3 for 3 easy. Okay?
Yeah,
You
well,
might as well call me Steph
I'm-
Curry in this bitch, dude. I'm shooting from half court.
yeah, good job. Proud of you. I'm glad you're happy.
I'm glad I'm happy too.
Yeah, and like I said, if I seem like a smart butt, I haven't been a smart butt. I'm just trying to be respectful to you, and you've been respectful to me too. And yeah. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Or
No, man, I think I'm good for the night. I hope you have a good one, all right?
all right, man.
All right.
I appreciate you, and I hope you have a good evening.
You too. Bye. All right. Thank you guys so much. Y'all, please make sure you hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you'd like to become a member and be part of the team, that's also a great way to support the live. I appreciate you. I'm going to hit up a few of these super chats real quick, and we're going to move on to the next caller and keep this thing going. All right. God, yeah, I was on one on that one. That felt good. That felt good. Luis, thank you so much for the $20. Is that Luis's second $20 super chat of the live?
It's insane.
Can we get huge W's in the chat for Luis for that? Said this MAGA are so delusional. I think at this point I can debate with them with all I learned in this community. Go Paul. Luis, you come here. Come grab the mic, dude. We'll tap you in, bro. Come on up, dude. You got this, brother. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Lovely. Thank you so much for the $5. So the truth smacks him right in the face, and their response is, nah. It's usually nah or but Biden. You never really know. This moderator paused me for saying it's insane. That is insane. I don't support Trump. Why? Sorry, I didn't know that. Oh, Corey, did someone hit it? I'll check that in a second. Yeah, I don't know. It's probably just an accent, man. Probably not a big deal. Probably just an accent. Austin said, why are people so delusional? Trump is horrible. Yeah, I don't know. KJ says, God bless you, brother Paulie. I'm convinced Trump supporters are literally the dumbest species on earth. Species, that's an interesting word. Thank you so much. Computer said, this caller is an uneducated bigot piece of trash. I bet he's a frustrated incel. Goodness gracious. Computer, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Dr. Carlos said, Dr. Carlos Brown was not an undocumented immigrant. He was raised and born here. Oh, you know who he was talking about. I had no idea who he was talking about. I guess that's the guy in North Carolina. Sorry, I had no idea. Thank you for that info. I appreciate that. W's for CJ for the info. I really, really appreciate you. Thank you so much. It was in Atlanta. I'll have to look that up later. Sorry, I'm not familiar with that, so I need to get on that. Hughes, thank you so much for the $2. I appreciate that. MKN, also thank you so much for the $2. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I really didn't know that. Oh, it is Charlotte. Charlotte, Atlanta, Charlotte. Where are we at? We're one of these places. Thank you so much, CJ. I really, really appreciate that. Charlotte's nice. I was actually just in Charlotte. Well, actually, that's been almost a year now. Holy shit. That was almost a year now. That's crazy. All right, we're going to open up these phone lines. Keep this thing going. Again, y'all, please make sure you hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I don't have forever. I am checking the calls over here.
You haven't already?
Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm excellent. How old are you?
27.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
I support Trump.
Awesome. Why would you do that?
Oh, fuck.
Did you just please yourself talking about Trump? Kind of strange. I wish it wasn't I wish it was surprising. It's not, unfortunately. Hello, how are you?
What up? How you doing, Wes?
Good. How old are you?
I am 34.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
Come again?
Do you still support Trump?
No, not necessarily. I mean, some of his policies still kind of stay in line with how I feel as far as the country and immigration and things like that. But I don't really support any politician that takes money from AIPAC or puts any foreign government or any country's interest before the American people's interest.
DeCarlos Brown, not Dr. Brown. Okay, gotcha. That was a gotcha. Cool. All right, man. Well, you don't support Trump, so I hope you have a good day, all right? DeCarlos Brown, not Dr. Brown. See, I used it was on okay. I understand where I saw that. Okay. It was a mistype and I messed up. All right, my bad. I don't know the story. I already said I don't know this thing. Okay? I'll look it up. All right, my bad. I'm sorry. As much as I try to stay up on things, I unfortunately don't know it all. Okay? I unfortunately don't know it all. So I apologize. I'll get better at knowing everything. Okay? I'll really work on that. Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing excellent. How old are you?
I'm 19.
I don't believe you. Hello, how are you?
Hello?
Hi, how are you?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How old are you?
22.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
Yes, I do.
Awesome. Why would you do that?
So, my main reason would be that I, as a conservative Christian, feel that he's not perfect, but that his policies would align more with him. That
Gotcha.
fit
So,
my.
yeah, perfect. So you're saying that Donald Trump's policies align more with your conservative Christian values.
Yes.
Awesome. Real quick, sorry, I have to respond to something real quick. Maura, thank you so much for the $1 over on Venmo. I really appreciate that. I can't see your comment for some reason. Thank you so much. I don't know. Yeah, he said, can you imagine the military of Norway blowing up a boat off the coast of Florida because they thought they had drugs? Yeah, that would be wild. Anyways, so Donald Trump is currently ripping 4 million people off their food benefits in order to like increase the food insecurity of, you know, millions of children across the United States. We have like 1 in 5 children in the United States that, you know, experience some type of like food insecurity, right? So what part of conservative Christian values tells you that children shouldn't eat?
Well, based off your premise, you'd be correct. Of course, children have a right to eat. Does this have to do with the government shutdown?
No, this was actually the big beautiful bill actually back in March. There was more that was getting ready to get taken off that Donald Trump actually specifically withheld, you know, contingency funds in order to make sure that they didn't get, you know, food because again, even with the government shutdown, right? There was contingency funds that were set aside in case this happens to make sure people could still eat. Donald Trump tried to block that funding, right? And was actually successful until actually today when a federal court judge is actually now forcing him to feed children.
So you could tell me if I'm wrong. I'm more than happy with that. But I had heard that the people that were being released off of SNAP benefits was because they don't, what's the word, qualify because you have to have certain criteria, like you have to be employed or prove some kind of attempt to work or something like that.
Yeah, so there's different qualifications, but no, the people that are on SNAP benefits all had to qualify. The people that did not qualify under very, you know, special circumstances did have to work and they had full work requirements. All of that was already happening. That wasn't a new thing that Donald Trump was implementing, right? What they were doing, and that actually goes for the people that are on healthcare too, because again, Donald Trump's Medicaid cuts are going to cut, 10 to 17 million people off of their healthcare, right? And he's going to do it by increasing pretty much the paperwork burden of people that, that are already on Medicaid that actually really truly do deserve it, but don't have the capacity or the time, right, in order to actually keep up with the paperwork, right, in order to actually get their Medicaid. So they're not increasing the requirement. I think they are increasing the work requirement from like 40 to 80 hours a month or something like that. There's a slight work requirement, but there was already a work requirement that was actually in for these cuts. This has already been tried in multiple states.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the additional requirements you're saying? Like there has to be a reason, right? Like you don't just say, okay, well, these people are being removed for the hell of it. Like what would be that reason that they're going off of?
Yeah, the reason that they're going off, they're saying, or the reason why they're doing it are two very different things.
Let's say what they're claiming.
They're claiming that people are being lazy and not working, which is not true. Because again, the majority of the people on Medicaid and SNAP already work and are already on a work requirement and are already proving that and recertifying.
I'd have to research that, but it doesn't contradict my point I made. But you did say it depends based off what they claim versus what they're actually doing. So I'll give you that. I'm not sure, but
well, that's
what it was.
Yeah, that's the claim. But if we actually look at it, all right, again, like this only even fits a very small qualification of people, right? Because especially when you talk about like Medicaid or SNAP and stuff like that, the majority of the people majority of the stuff is going to your elderly people, your disabled people, right? Like under certain circumstances, you're talking about people that maybe are taking care of of somebody that's disabled, right? And so they have those benefits so they can be full-time, caretakers and stuff like that, right? And again, this same claim, this was already done in Arkansas and in Georgia, right? Where they claim that all of these lazy people were somehow taking benefits as if that exists. It's just crazy, but because it doesn't. But what we actually saw is that while people were dropped off of their healthcare and dropped off their benefits, right? The unemployment rate went up, and actually we saw a lot of other side effects too, like crime actually rising after this, right? Because when people can't get their benefits that they need to be able to eat, especially when certain circumstances, poverty is the number one driver of crime. We saw homelessness increase in those areas, right? And we're projected to see homelessness increase significantly in this, based off of this policy, right? So what I'm saying is, sir, is like none of these are Christian, right? Like I'm pretty sure the Bible specifically said, like, if you see the poor people, to help them, right? Like, I mean, what about the idea of the Good Samaritan, right? Seeing somebody that's injured and helping them out of the goodness of your heart, right? Not checking to see their status or if they like really, do they really deserve it or something like that, right? Like the Bible is like really clear. Like if you see poor people, make sure they can eat. If people don't have enough on their plate, you share with them, right? If you see people that are not clothed, you give them the shirt off your back, right? If you see someone that's sick or injured, you help them, right? And so taking away these benefits from people is the exact opposite of that. And even if it was somebody that possibly like didn't deserve it, right? Like, I mean, and I put that in parentheses, right? It would still be more Christian to give them a benefit that they didn't deserve than to possibly have somebody taken off of benefits that really did deserve it.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I believe that there should be more humility in the way that you approach it. I do agree. I will say that if there are people that are, because SNAP benefits and that stuff is supposed to be for when you are struggling, and then when you are no longer struggling, you're supposed to get off of them. I don't think it's supposed to be a permanent thing. If there are people that are abusing it, they definitely have to be removed because there are other people online that could really use it. I do see that.
But sir,
I do believe, yeah.
No, we already had the safeguards in place to stop that. Those already existed.
What do you mean?
I mean that the things like SNAP, things like Medicaid, they already audit their system. They already have big paperwork burdens. They already have the things in place to try to catch anybody who's trying to abuse it. Actually, when it came to Medicaid fraud, right, the majority of the people and the actually significant problem that we had with actually Medicaid fraud actually didn't come from people actually getting Medicaid. It actually came from healthcare professionals who were actually writing up like diagnoses or things that they that they need, that patients don't really need, right? Like ordering like x-rays or like an MRI for a patient that doesn't need it, not giving that to them, saying that they gave them that procedure and then charging the government for it, right? That's actually where we saw the significant part of Medicaid fraud. It wasn't from people that needed it that were somehow just like taking Medicaid, right? Like that it doesn't really exist that way, right? But I believe it was over like 95% of the fraud that actually happened from this thing was all provider fraud, not from patients.
Yeah, I definitely would have to search that more, but I do feel as long as there are people that, if there are people like you're saying that are getting removed and it's just unjustifiable, then I would agree that that's not fair. I do agree with that. I've never had to deal with SNAP benefits. I know people that are on it, and I know they're going to be angry that they're getting removed from it. So I'd have to look more into that. But yeah, it's just I feel that he aligns more with where I would lean because I just see, and this is not necessarily a policy thing because you probably are going to school me on policy. I don't research it, but like the morals that I feel that come from the other side just don't align as much with what I believe in, like the moral aspects.
Yeah. So again, when we talk about moral aspects, right? Like I always like to say this, what is radical leftism, right? Like what is radical leftism, right? It's universal health care. It's stronger social safety nets. It's helping the poor. It's helping the weak. It's helping the disabled. It's creating equity, right? Regardless of your race, religion, of your sexual orientation, right? Of your sexual identity, right? Regardless of any of that, right? It's to create equity amongst people. It's to say that we should all coexist as one, right? What is right wing extremism? Well, I mean, I'm not saying that this is what the current administration is, but what full right wing extremism looks like is like Nazi Germany, right? It's the complete exclusion of anybody who doesn't look like you, sound like you, act like you, believe like you, right? And so like I just don't really like understand how you're saying that somehow on the left, right? Like it's not moral, which is literally just helping people, which is again one of the most Christian values, right? Is create like, I mean, communism would be that, which would be just like a complete equitable distribution of all things, right? Well, in a utopian society.
Yeah. I would say on surface you would be correct, but in practice I wouldn't agree. And I feel when you look at the system that the right pushes, tangible by men, and the system that would be on the left is intangible. Ultimately, the societies that have tried to transition through socialism or try communism, it doesn't ultimately work. It ends up in a lot of people honestly being shot in the back of the head because they go against the state. Like, I don't like the path that it goes. It's slippery.
Well, what's the definition of communism?
Definition of communism would be a classless society.
A moneyless, classless, stateless society. So how is anybody getting shot in the back of the head in communism?
Well, to get to that process, you would have to, I believe what Karl Marx indicated is remove God, and you have to remove the people that are going against the ideology, because if you have people that are against it, then that's opposition. You can't have a communist society with opposition like that.
Yeah, you're talking about Marxism and removing people, right? But we're not talking about communism. And I'm saying communism. You're talking about Marxism, which, while there are similarities, and I understand that, right? Like, you're talking about the removal of certain people, but right wing does the exact same thing. It's a removal of certain people, right? Like, again, look at Nazi Germany, look at the extermination of the Jews, right? Like, look at current right wing, extremism, which is calling, immigrants the vermin that poisons the blood of the American people, or like past right wing ideology that supported slavery, right? Or supported the concentration camps that we put Japanese people in, right? Like, these are all different things that right-wing extremism has shown, right? Like, you're talking about where communism becomes authoritarianism, right? That's a complete swap over, right? Because the second that there's a state, it stops being communism, it starts being authoritarianism, and then authoritarianism is generally right-wing.
Well, I would say that I want to set guardrails. I would not be accusing you of being far left, and I'm not far right. I think those are things that we should definitely avoid. I don't want to live in a society like Nazi Germany, or a society like Stalin's Russia or something like that. So I do agree. I just feel like
both of those are right.
The more negativities. Okay, well, what would you say is the worst example of a leftist society?
The worst example?
Yes. Being fair, like,
I'm trying to be. I'm not gonna lie. All the countries that are coming to mind, they're not gonna be answers you want to hear. I promise you that.
For leftists, what would it be?
I'm telling you, if I answer the question, you're not gonna like it.
I might as well. I'm not gonna be able to think without it.
Norway.
Okay, I was thinking you were gonna say Norway or what, like those
Sweden,
Scandinavian countries.
I mean, I guess maybe I could go to some, like, maybe a poorer country, like I don't know. Greenland, maybe. I don't know, or Mexico, or
okay, but are you saying just like, okay, we could strive for left ideas, we could strive for communism, but the second you put a dictator, it's automatically right wing? I don't know if it's that easy.
Well, generally the dictators that are put in conservative values, right? Like, if you talk about like Cuba, right? You're saying that they started out as communists, which they really didn't, right? They claimed to be communists, but they weren't, right? And then it was just a ploy to put right-wing authoritarians in that did a bunch of right-wing stuff, right? Like Nazi Germany is a great example, right? They were the National Workers' Party. They put in National Socialist Workers' Party, right? In order to actually draw in workers and convince them that they were for the people. But in reality, they were never socialists and never put in a single socialist policy, right? They just called themselves that. Right. Communist China is a great example of that. Right. China is incredibly capitalist. Right. They're not communist in the slightest. Right. Except for like maybe like a social aspect of them controlling certain industry. Right. And having that control over it. But they're not communist. Right. They're capitalists and they call themselves communists, but they're not. Right. And I think that's where a lot of like confusion gets like put in, is that like a lot of very right-wing authoritarian groups, right, like to put in very left, like socialist and communist words and use that as a way to draw people in when they're not,
So, but here's the thing. Okay, for example, let's say, and he can't be president, but because he's from Uganda. But say Zoran Mamdani became president, he fits all the criteria for more left-leaning ideas. But the second he starts gripping authority more, would you immediately throw him to the right-wing category?
Gripping authority more, I don't think he would do that. But yes, if he was gripping for authority, that would like kind of go against who he is.
So that's what I'm
That's
saying.
the thing.
But I
That's
guess
the thing,
when
though. Like real socialists don't grip for power. That's the thing. Like, and first of all, I'm pretty sure. Never mind. Anyways, regardless, he real like authoritarians grip for power. Socialists don't grip for power. Okay, socialism is all about the equitable distribution of your labor, right? It's literally a desocialization of power, right? Or a deconcentration of power, right? It's saying that as you work, you should get an equitable amount of the amount of work that you get for the labor that you put in, right? And that somebody else, like an Elon Musk or a Jeff Bezos, shouldn't be the primary benefactor of your labor, right?
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I'm not here to make a capitalist versus socialist argument. I don't agree with socialism, but I guess I'd ask you another question. Let's say we had communism, right? It was perfect and it went exactly the way you say it should be, a leftist utopia. Would these things be able to not contradict that society? To be able to believe and advocate for a Christian God in public? Would I be able to say that I want my family to be in the traditional family, nuclear family? Can I do those things?
Sir, there's only one side of people right now that is advocating for anybody to not be able to exercise their, their free exercise of religion, right?
It's insane.
That's the right. The left has never, and I would be damned for you to show me one leftist politician like in the federal government, like even probably I'm sure you can find like some county commissioner someplace or some shit that, that's no one had ever heard of. Like, I'm not saying like, as a whole, or like in a vacuum, right? But what I'm saying is like, find me one person on the left that says that you shouldn't be able to practice your religion the way that you want to, as long as it doesn't hurt anybody else. You know what I'm saying? It's the right that says like right now, like we have prominent right wingers in the White House under Donald Trump that say, oh, we are a Christian nation. We are Christian nationalists. Like this country should only exist under the flag of Christianity, right? They're the people right now that are, and trust me, I'm plugged into like a lot of places online that I shouldn't be. It's very frustrating, but that are freaking out about a Muslim being the mayor of New York, right? They're losing their minds, okay, over somebody else's free exercise of religion, right? The left doesn't do that.
But you also do see that there is a correlation. I've been on a few amount of podcasts, calls like yourself, where the second we mention God, they're very quick to say, oh, I don't like that Christian God, that slave supporting God. And then they are very angry. I don't see a lot of people that are on the left in your position that are very happy about that. And I don't like that attitude.
Sir, I also don't like your God. Okay?
Yeah, but
I don't need to like your God. You can worship your God all you want. Okay? Like, it's not hurting me for you to worship your God until it does. Right? Until your religion starts hurting me, and then I'm against it.
Because that's the thing. What's the limit? Like, I had a coworker that was pissed because they were reading a book in her class that was a Christian book. Like, are you ready to start
in a public school?
Books? I don't know if it was public. I'm gonna
in a public school that goes against the separation of church and state. And no, because if they're reading a Christian book in a public school, you have children of all different religions and backgrounds. Okay, and reading a Christian book is a selection of a religion. I'm not saying you should ban the book or make kids not be able to read the book. If a kid wants to read it or his parents want to like have them read that book, I'm totally supportive of that 100%. I went to Christian school all 12 years of my life. All 12 years, like 1st through 12th grade. Actually, before that, I went to kindergarten and pre-K in a Christian school, right? If you want to send your kid to a Christian school and have them learn only Christian literature and have them not learn science, like that's fine. You have the right as a parent to be able to do that, okay? But you don't get to force that book on other children who don't believe the same as you do.
No, I mean, I get it because I would probably be aggravated if I went to class and they were forcing a Islamic book.
Sure. Or a Buddhist book, or like a, a Tao book, or, Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster, right? That's not the job of school to teach
Yeah.
your kids religion, regardless of whether it's your religion
But
or
can
somebody
we
else's
can we
religion.
keep it? But if we're going to keep it separated, where does that come in from my side as well? Like, okay, if you want to be like, all right, we don't need to be forcing the Ten Commandments. Okay, I get it. That could be a little cheesy, but like, and this is gonna probably piss you off, but I'm just gonna say it. Like, what if I don't feel comfortable where my kids are in school and they have the pride flag with like I saw not just pride, like literally in my ex high school, they had a flag that said coexist with all the religions, but it was in rainbow font. And that's very offensive to the religions because that's not what they're agreeing with, even though you have a right to be gay. That's okay. I'm not saying you can't if you're a gay person, but like, can that also be off the list?
No, because it's not an exercise of religion, sir. Saying that gay people exist is not an exercise of religion. That's just teaching non-discrimination, which I think is a very good thing, regardless of whether it's over religion, whether it's over, sexual orientation or sexual identity, right? Or anything, right? Like, I am all for teaching kids
But
that
yeah,
everybody's cool and don't freaking hate somebody just based off of something, right? Like, a rainbow
but
flag
yeah.
never hurt anyone. A rainbow flag never killed anyone except for maybe the person that was holding it, right? Like,
Now, then, yeah, I would like a flag in the room that says coexist, and it's just a straight guy, just a guy chilling. But then people would be like, "Oh, look, you're against gays." Like, you see what I'm saying? It's hypocritical in my opinion.
how is it hypocritical when literally the coexisting has Christianity in it?
Yeah, but I'm not talking about the religious aspect, which I disagree with that. I'm talking about if there's a flag that's a pride flag, and you say, okay, it should be there, it's not hurting anybody. If I were to make my own flag that's a straight flag, it's not hurting anybody.
There already is one. It's
Maybe
called the
it would hurt.
American flag.
It's
Well, what do you
insane.
mean that's not a straight flag or a gay flag? It's just a flag.
I'm sorry, sir. That flag was built when homosexuality was illegal in this country and black people were still slaves.
Insane.
So I'm sorry. That is a straight flag. Like, that's what it is. Like,
America's evolved, so I mean it's adaptable. It's different now.
well, I'm sure it's very adaptable for people that are probably straight and white, right? For the rest of us, like, I'm just being honest, sir. That's what it is. The majority, Mel, thank you so much. I appreciate that. The majority of things in our schools and that are taught in our schools are literally based around, okay, being straight and white. All right. So trying to
Well,
add in
yeah.
something that counts, like that coexists on the side of that, right? You don't need more, man. Like literally all of our history books in America are just straight white dudes. All right? You have plenty of representation.
Well, I mean, I don't need white representation myself. I am Hispanic, but I get what you're coming from. I know what you're saying. But to be honest, that's just what I'm saying. If we want to, I'm fine with that because I get what you're coming from. If like if my son came home and he was like, "Oh, they're teaching about the Prophet Muhammad," I'd be like, "Oh shoot, I don't really agree with that." And then I could see why you would be aggravated if they were doing it for a Christian God. But let's keep it squeaky clean. And I just want it to be, let's learn, let's read books, let's study. I don't want it to be like, oh, let's talk about this ideology, that ideology, or like I was in school and doing a college class, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna do this entire class through the lens of communism." I unmuted my mic and said, "Well, why are we doing an English literature class through the eyes of communism, of Marxism?" I don't think that that's fair. You don't have to force to have a capitalist or this or that. Just be unbiased. That's the way I see it. I just feel like if we let you guys have what y'all want, it's going to be more of including stuff that I feel like is going to go down a slope where my ideas are starting to get trumped over.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give you a real, and this is actually a true life thing that is really true in my life. Okay, I'm gonna tell you a real thing that happened to me when I was in high school. Okay, so I told you that I went to Christian school like my whole life, right? I graduated from Riverside Christian High School in Riverside, California. It doesn't exist anymore, so I can totally say it out loud, right? Graduated from Riverside Christian High School, Riverside, California, right? And I had a teacher, right? And my Bible teacher, my religion teacher, all right, who literally said, like, hey, there is no way for you to understand your religion, okay, without understanding other religions, right? And so he actually taught us other religions, right? And taught us like how they work together and all sorts of stuff. And then what he was teaching us was critical thinking. Now, he fucked up, right? Because I actually then started critically thinking and then realized that the religion that I, understood was kind of bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Because I was actually able to critical think. But that sounds like it's what you're afraid of. Right? It sounds like you're afraid of critical thinking. The reason why you want to look at things from a lens of communism, right, is because maybe there are some things out of communism that you could learn from, right? Or maybe even understanding, right, things from a lens of communism, right, can give you a perspective on what you believe or give you even a perspective on what you don't believe, right? Like, I think it's super, super important, especially right now in the United States, all right, to understand what happened in Nazi Germany prior to the concentration camps, right? Is that because I want to like be like them? No, it's because if I can look at it through their lens, then I can have the ability to stop it from happening again, right? So those are important ways to gain perspective, right? And I believe that's what your teacher was trying to get at you with, right? They weren't trying to make you a communist. They were trying to get you to think with perspective, with foresight, right? With a full understanding of your surroundings and the surroundings around that literature. It is literally critical thinking. This is the exact reason why Donald Trump's White House and the legislature around Donald Trump is trying currently to be against colleges, right? To be against universities, because universities teach you how to critically think. And critical thinking is the like literal like antithesis of right-wing politics. They want you to not critically think. They want you to think as linearly as possible, right? And the second you start thinking outside of that box, then it threatens their ideology.
So, I mean, I get what you're saying. I don't think that we should have Christian only, don't teach about other faiths. Yeah, I mean, I spent rigorous amount of time studying other faiths. That's why I'm confident with the one that I'm with. But there's no problem with critical thinking. I think that, and I'm not trying to make you feel uncomfortable, but I believe not just God propagates truth or teaches truth, but God is true. So whatever is true is fine with me. Like, if there's an aspect in communism that is a true statement, like, hey, we should all be treated fairly, I'm not going to say, oh my God, look at that damn communist. Like, yeah, that's a true statement. We should all be treated fairly. But life isn't so simple. So, I mean, that's why I feel like we have to work with what we got. It's not always that easy to go strive for those things. But no, I'm not against critical thinking, and I don't think that that's a bad thing. But the whole class through the lens of Marxism, not any books from any of our guys, like capitalist people, or shoot, even just a normal guy. Like, it all has to be through that lens. That's pushing a message. Like, I want to have my English class for you. They should have had an English class that was all Muslim. But you'd be like, well, that's not fair. Let's have some Muslim, and let's have some Christian, let's have some Hindu, let's have some evolution, not evolution. That's how I feel it should be, not a whole class. That's really
well,
pushing.
evolution's a little more touchy because evolution is just reality. Like, that's not really like a lens thing. Like, but regardless of any of that, right? No, when I'm talking about kids that are in school, right? I'm talking about especially kids that are, I want them to learn that gay people exist. I want them to learn that trans people exist. I want them to know that people from, that Muslims exist and Christians exist and atheists exist. I want them to know all of those different things. I want them to learn how to coexist, right, with each other, regardless of their beliefs, right? That's what I want, right? And that's truly like what I want, right? I remember specifically the first time I met a Muslim guy. I didn't even know he was Muslim for like 6 months. By the time I realized it, I was like, oh shit, that dude's cool as fuck, man. Like, what the fuck was I being taught my whole life that like somehow I should like stay away from people like that? You know what I'm saying? We need to be able to teach people, we need to teach our kids that to be accepting of other, and it's not an attack on you. And I think that's the biggest thing that we have with our country, and especially with the right wing, right? is for some reason there's this ideology that that somehow teaching about others' existence is an attack on your way of life, and it's not, right? It's like, it's not like, if you can be a straight white Christian dude and you can still like have your kids learn about people that aren't straight white Christian dudes, that's not an attack on you. That's just an acceptance of others.
Okay, so let me ask you a question then. I guess so I could get in the mind of how you see people on the other side. Why is there an increased and I don't want to sound like I'm guiding the question. I'll be unbiased. Why does there appear to be an increased anger towards traditional family, Christianity, towards that type of stuff? Like, why am I hearing that more commonly when I hear people on the left?
Yeah, so I don't think anybody has a problem with what you call a traditional family, right? As long as it's in your household, right? The problem is when it starts to be legislated, right? And so the like, I mean, like, are you aware like when like women were allowed to get like bank accounts on their own? Like,
I would assume it's sometime well after suffrage.
yeah, it was like 1974.
Damn, that is pretty late.
Yeah, it was something like that, right? Like, it was like we're not living in this world, right, where like this traditional family household was good, right? Like, it wasn't until like not that far off where women couldn't even initiate a divorce, right? Like, where their husbands, you ever heard of like the rule of thumb?
No.
Like, you never heard someone say like, oh, it's like a rule of thumb?
Oh yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
like,
do you know where that comes
just
from?
means it's just a given, right?
Yeah, but do you know where that comes from?
No.
Yeah, it actually comes from an old law based off traditional family values, right? Where a husband could beat his wife with a stick, right? But the stick couldn't be larger than his thumb. And that's
a very small stick, though.
Oh, okay. Well, you should be able to beat your wife if it's like if it's a small stick.
No, come on.
But sir, that's what I'm saying. Like, these were the traditional family values. These were the wider than the thumb. My bad, not bigger, wider. I apologize. Okay, but that law was like not abolished. That law, like, your grandparents are in like lived under that law, right? So when we start to see things legislated, right, that try to bring us back to, again, parentheses, traditional family values, right? This is what we see, right? We see a return to extreme misogyny, right? And we also see not only just extreme misogyny, right? But we see an exclusion of everybody else who doesn't want to live under that situation, right? And the sad part is we even see it like propagated by people who don't live under that, which I think is even more wild, right? But like, I don't want to live in a traditional family home, right? I have zero will to do that, right? So anything that starts to be legislated, that starts to force me into that, like, into that tiny line in which to consider that, I don't want that legislated. If you want to do it and you have, somebody else that wants to live in it with you, then I completely support your guys' ability to do that on your own, just without laws.
So this is my thing that I get when I'm talking to you. I think that and I'm not saying you're doing this, I see where you're coming from, but like, not every person that's LGBT is like going to schools in drag, and not everybody that wants traditional is like beating their wives with a ruler or with a stick. Isn't it possible that maybe we're just scared of things going too far, so we're trying to back up a little bit? Like, can that just be it?
Yeah, I mean, that is literally what conservatism is. Like, I mean, that's literally what conservatism is, right? It's being scared of progress and wanting to go back, right? Like, that's why.
That's not nice. Like, you're using.
No, I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to not be. I'm truly not trying to be mean, right?
Because like saying progressive is like, oh, you don't care about nothing you're looking at. You just keep going. Like, no, that's not progressive either.
No, but what I'm saying is, like, it's in the name, right? Conserve what was already here, right? That's the whole point.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, conservatism is the opposite of progressivism, right? Like, I'm a progressive. I want fast movement forward, right? Like, that's what I want. I'm cool with making mistakes in moving forward quickly, right? I'm totally okay with that. I don't expect perfection, right? Conservatism is literally, let's go back, right? Let's stay in the back where we were, right? Like that's truly what they are, right? So it's not an attack. That's just what you are, right? But see, as a person who is not a straight white male, Christian male, right? Everything in the back was not good for me. Everything that you're trying to conserve didn't help me, right? As a black male, I have more rights now and more freedoms now than I did in the past. I don't want to go to the past.
So,
right?
What would you call? Okay, what I desire versus what I am. What would you call me then? Would you say, "Oh, you're a libertarian"? Would you say you're
conservative?
Would you say you're conservative?
Yeah.
You say conservative, but like I don't mind if there's a value. Like, oh, if you're saying, for example, putting black people on ropes and stuff is conservatism, I don't want that. Like, obviously not. Like, if we need to change something, I'm fine with changing it. Like. But I don't want to be like, we have things that have worked and let's get rid of it. Is that not conservatism right there?
Right. So, and I'm not saying you don't want anything to change ever, right? But like, I mean, even some of the statements that you made here, and again, this is not me like talking trash. I'm just literally pointing out what's obvious here, okay? Like, you having a frustration with a coexist flag on a rainbow background, right? That's pretty conservative. That's saying, oh, this wasn't something that was going on in the past. I don't want it to be influencing the future, right? When in the truth, like, ideologue, it doesn't really mean shit, right? Like, that flag doesn't mean anything, right? Except for a disturbance of your traditional values, right? It's a disruption of what your like ideology is of conservative Christian values, right? That's what I mean by conservative, right? Like, conservative used to mean a whole different thing, and being conservative is always changing, right? Like conservatives in the Jim Crow era probably were like, look, it's not like I want to go back to slavery, right? I just think that black people and white people should be segregated, right? Like, it's the same, and it's constantly evolving, right? And what was progressive in that same Jim Crow era, right, isn't what's considered progressive now because we're moving forward, right? And so the Overton window on that is consistently moving in a certain direction. So I'm not saying just because you're a conservative that you're saying like, oh, we need to go back to putting black people on ropes on trees, right? What I'm saying is that you're more apt to be able to keep things the way they are, or to go back to a traditional value as opposed to moving forward into things that maybe you're not as comfortable with. And I'm more comfortable with that change, right? Because I have seen change throughout the United States more like benefit people like me, people who are an atheist, people who are, who's a person of color, right? I have a daughter who I want to have, a daughter who is also, a young black woman, right? Who is also like, non-religious, right? And I want her to have more rights than I have. And I've seen progression give me more rights, and I've seen progression give her more rights. And unfortunately, sir, for you, like, what I'm saying is conservatism, the things in the past gave people like you more rights, right? White, Christian, cisgendered males, right? And so you're trying to conserve what, I'm going to say power, but don't freak out on me, okay? You're trying to conserve what power, right, like white Christian straight males had in this country, right? And I'm trying to demolish it, right? I'm trying to make it equitable across everybody.
So I got a question for you. If you had to, and it's a little bit off topic, but you'll see what I'm saying. If you had a button, one button on the left and one button on the right, the button on the left is you could just remove all of us, like our ideologies, our beliefs, and you could have a soul system based off what you believe. and the other button is for us to coexist and have our ideas float around and have a secular where everything is balanced and fair, what would you press?
See, that's funny though, because it's not a good question. Because that button where we all coexist is my button. That button where
So
we
that's
all
what,
coexist on an equitable frame is my button, right?
because I get a
Your
vibe
button
a lot of
isn't
times that
that.
if you guys, yeah,
You're,
but I do get a vibe that y'all would not be so willing to press that second one.
no,
Like
sir,
if you
that's
could
the button
eliminate,
I'm currently pressing. That's why I do this live, right? Like this live creates an equitable situation where no matter what your race is, no matter what your gender is, no matter what your political ideology is, you can call up here, you can have a conversation, right? That is with me in a platform where, I mean, between all three of these lives is about 2,000 people, right? I want people that are straight, that are gay, that are, you know, that are trans, that are Christians, that are Muslims, that are atheists, that are, again, Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster, right? I want the views of all people, right? Like those buttons that you just talked about, they're the same button. Your button keeps us in the past where people like me are less than you.
but what if I tell you I don't want that? I'm not saying like, oh, like you, I want you to be less, I want you to be segregated. I don't want that stuff. What is that supposed to mean then?
Well, it means, sir, that maybe, how do I say this? Sorry. I want to say this correctly because I do truly believe you asked that like genuinely, and I don't want to give you a flippant answer, right? I want you to understand that if you truly do believe that, okay, that I am not a threat to you, okay? My ideology is not a threat to your ability to live or for your ability to prosper, okay? My ideology does not stop you or hindering you or your children or anybody that you know, okay, from progressing in life. All my ideology does is say that I believe that me and my kids, okay, and a Zohran Mamdani and his kids, right, or a Kamala Harris and her, you know, kids, or like, or you know, a gay couple someplace with their kids, that they all should have that equal chance along with you, okay. And that's all it says, is that we all should be equitable on our way. And like, you know, you like the right talks about like, you know, like merit based, that it is merit based, right? That is not based off your religion, on your race, on your gender, on any of those things, right? That is what I am pushing for, is that, right? And that should not be a threat to you if you truly believe what you believe, what you say you believe.
I agree with everything you're saying. The only thing I worry about is when your beliefs are put in practice. I do feel like sometimes it could feel infringing.
Yes, sir. And I understand how it totally feels infringing to you. And here's the reason why. Okay? And you're not gonna like this answer. Okay?
Yeah, I'm listening. Go ahead.
When you're used to being on top, okay, equity feels like suppression or feels like oppression, right? Like when who you are as a person, when you were born into being a white Christian male, right? And you have been put in a spot where you are just born into a position that is, I put in parentheses, superior, right? But like superior within our society, right? Then equity feels like you're being oppressed, right? You're not being oppressed, right? You're just not on top anymore. You're equitable.
But is there a way in practice? Because I bet your way would be what you're like, okay, well, we need to lift up these people by giving them affirmative action, giving them these government benefits, by giving them rent control, this and that. But is there a way to do it where we could all just clean the slate completely rather than having to push people down or lift people up?
I
Or
mean,
you're
we
gonna
could
say that
start
is
Fight
no
Club,
way?
I guess. Like, I mean, that's what they were trying to do, right? No,
Well, that's
sorry. That
yeah.
was just a little joke. I couldn't help that. No. No, again, these things that we're talking about when we're talking about like food benefits and all that sort of stuff, that's just making sure poor people don't starve and disabled people don't starve. That actually doesn't have much to do with what we're talking about at all. It might feel like it does, but it doesn't, right? Like, that's helping poor and disabled people, people that live below the poverty line, people that don't know how to get their next meal to be able to eat, right? Well, the policies I'm talking about are things like the Civil Rights Act, which Donald Trump is currently trying to demolish under the guise of DEI, right? That's what I'm afraid of. Okay? I'm afraid when somebody like Stephen Miller or Donald Trump, right? Like, goes in and tries to demolish things that have worked to make us more equitable, right? Like, that's what scares me, because what we need more policies to make things more equitable. And like affirmative action got overturned quite a while ago now, and that's fine. I guess whatever, it did its job like for a moment, like whatever. But the ideas of these policies are to create a more equitable society and not to go back. And when I hear traditional family values, what I hear is we're going back. You know what I'm saying? I don't want the Civil Rights Act
yeah.
to go away. I don't want the Voting Rights Act to go away. I don't want to redo women's suffrage or Jim Crow or any of these things in the United States. I don't want to redo those. I want to just keep moving forward. And preferably, if you want me to be completely honest with you, I want straight white Christian males with me moving forward, not working against me.
Well, look, is this contradicting to what you think a conservative is? Like, for civil marriage, I'm not saying like we need to ban people that are gay from having a right to be married, or like I support civil rights movement, or like women can vote and they could go work. Do you think that stuff is me contradicting my own beliefs that you think I have?
No, I'm not saying you're contradicting your own beliefs at all. I'm saying the people that you support don't believe that.
I mean, like what statements? Like have not like the Christian nationalists. I'm talking about, is there a statement where any of our guys right now have said we would like to remove women's suffrage or remove black people having rights to not be enslaved or to not have a job or like stuff like that? Has that been said?
Not general. I mean, by certain people, yes, unfortunately. But I mean, if you're talking about like just Donald Trump, no.
I'm
right?
talking about in power and politicians right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Freaking Stephen Miller, I think, is the biggest example of that. Right? Who's a known racist, a known neo-Nazi.
What has he said? Because like just a few years ago, we have one clip Joe Biden saying that marriage should only be a man and a woman, but nobody's beating him up.
Obama did too.
Yeah, he said Obama was the one that believed that, but that
he did. Again, Obama was against that before he became president. That's a true story, right? Like, I mean, people forget that it's easy to like get rid of it. And I very love the shit out of Obama. Okay, I really do. All right, but like right now, like there are things like with it. Do you know what Project 2025 is?
I've heard it, but I heard Trump deny that he was going to be involved in that.
Yeah, Donald Trump first had it on his website, right? And then later removed it. And then later on after that said he had never heard of it. And now has hired, I think the last count was like 19 people that helped write it into his cabinet and is following it almost step by step. And I think even just recently, I think he actually brought it up on his Truth Social like a month ago. Like, I think he actually put it up on his Truth Social, like acknowledging, that he was for it. Right. But in Project 2025, it talks about, removing voter rights from people, from women, from black people. It talks about getting rid of gay marriage. It talks about all of these things that I'm talking about, because again, the Heritage Foundation is a horrible group of human beings right? And I mean, JD Vance wrote a part of the Heritage of Project 2025. He's in the White House.
Yeah, I did not know that.
Yeah, I think he wrote what was it, the foreword to it. Yes, correct. He wrote the foreword to it. I was gonna say the preamble.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I know that there's some things in there that I saw that I agree with and some things that I didn't. I just don't remember what I did or didn't. Because here's the thing that I've been struggling with. I don't know how much time I have. I'm not trying to run over.
Well, I'm actually way past time talking to you. We've been on the phone for almost a fucking hour, and I usually cut them at half an hour. But so I was actually getting ready to get up.
Yeah.
But how about this? Well, how about we end it here? Yes, and sorry, people bring up Russell Vogt was an author of it. He's the director of OMB at the White House, right?
I think it'd be fair, but look, I'm gonna just say a few statements if that's fine.
All right, go ahead.
It's kind of funny sometimes, like when I hop onto your live or to other people's lives and y'all are just shouting and screaming, like it's good content. But then I think about it, I'm like, I get on this call. I'm not trying to do that because I am trying to speak, and I want to pursue truth before I pursue ideology. I want us to be able to do better. And like, there's probably some people in this chat that are your boys or my boys that are saying, "Oh, screw these guys. They're being too cool to each other." But like, I would prefer that because I think we'll do better in life. So I mean, I'm willing to learn, and hey, maybe different changes come along. I'm growing still, so.
Yeah, bro, I shout at people that shout at me. I match energy. Okay. And while I disagree with you,
I see sometimes you get into it for sure, but I'm sure something had to be said.
Yeah, I'm talking to you just like I know. I could probably sit here and have this conversation with you for 2 hours and be totally fine. Okay, it doesn't bother me, and people like this type of conversation too. Okay, like. No, like I'd rather have you than that person that just came out and screamed and yelled over me. All right, at least we can actually have conversation, actually have healthy conversation. But at the end of the day, sir, I just match energy. If you're gonna shout at me, I can shout back. If you're gonna try to talk shit, I talk shit better. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's totally fine. But if you want to actually have intellectual conversation and actually get down, because I think that things like this are important, right? Like somebody who I think like you're talking from the position of a conservative who's probably more center right, which is totally fine. I think probably 70% of Americans are, within that center situation, right? Like that are very close to the center of that Overton window. But I think you're talking to me from a person that probably doesn't realize that some of the things that you support have very negative impacts. And so I think that you might not I think you just don't really quite understand the gravity of some of the situations and some of the policies that are being implemented right now, and of the support of the politicians that you're giving, and how that's affecting, actually affecting people currently in the United States. And I think that that's really good for us to have this conversation, so you can kind of understand where I'm coming from. I can kind of understand where you're coming from, and we can kind of have like an understanding and an agreement on where we should go from here. And I think that that's really important. But hey, man, I am going to get off the phone with you, but I do hope you have a really wonderful night. All right.
Of course, and I'll try to call in one day later.
All right, yeah, man. We'll talk another time, all right? All right. Bye. Yeah, I didn't even realize. I looked over and I was like, oh my God, I've been on with him for an hour. That's wild. That's wild. All right, let me run through some super chats real quick. I think I did get a few. Lovely Goddess, thank you so much for the $5. Said, conservative and Christian logic. I believe in the right to life. And also, kids want to eat. Screw them, kids. Wasn't Jesus a communist? Jesus, what? I mean, those loaves of bread and 2 fishes, right? 7 loaves of bread and 2 fishes? Or is that the other way around? I don't know. I'm pretty sure they didn't go to just those who needed it, right? Thank you so much. Freddie, thank you so much for the $10. Said Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. Oh, and we got the Hail Satan from Tobin with the $10 super chat right behind it. Thank you so much, Freddie and Tobin, for the big religion comments over there. Fast to see. Thank you so much for the corgi. I really appreciate that. Ice Cream said, if there were a Christian flag, it would be of a dude plugging his ears in going, la, 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 la. Y'all make sure you hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I really appreciate you guys. Bray, thank you so much for the goat. I appreciate that. MKN says those who persecute other groups are the ones crying and bitching about these other groups being proud of their freedom after years of fighting just to exist. Well, that's a pretty good way of putting that. I'm not going to lie. Again, when you're used to being superior, right? Then equity feels like suppression. That's truly what it is. That's truly what it is. They can persecute everybody else, but as soon as they feel like they're even getting equality, they feel like they're being persecuted. It's very true. Andrea, thank you so much for becoming a member. I really appreciate that. Big W's in the chat for the new member. Altaro, thank you so much for the corgi. And Eddie said, I hate to be that guy, but conservative would be maintain the status quo and opposing progress, reactionary to the position of the opposing progress, and reverting to a prior state. Love your work. Did I not say that correctly?
It's insane.
Totally sorry. That was a great way of wording it. If I didn't word it that way, I apologize. That's how actually I really did mean to work it. So thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That was very good wordage. That was very good way of putting that. And Yo said, you rock. Thank you so much for that too. I really appreciate that also. Thank you so much. Guys, I got to get offline. I am tired and I got to go. So I hope you guys are having a wonderful evening. Love you guys. I will probably not be on tomorrow and I'll probably be back on Saturday. I might do a surprise one tomorrow though. But regardless, love you guys. Have a good one, all right? See you guys tomorrow. Sleep well. Bye.